Welcome to Mohawk Valley. Dan Shallon with you alongside Nick Zuppi as the Stallions are back on the road for game number 3. And Nick, we got to talk about everything that's going to go into this matchup here on the Archtop Fiber pregame show. Hashtag ArchtopFiberFastAF. Nick, Stallions back out here in Mohawk Valley for the first time in about 11 months. But before we get into anything about tonight's matchup, we have to look back to a couple days ago where the Stallions took down Oneonta 10-1 at home, a dominant victory, and it all started with the pitching, especially Steven Svensson.
You said it, Dan. 3 pitchers pitched. Svensson started, Speranza, and then Greg Bruno finished it. 9 total innings, 14 strikeouts to only 3 walks. All 3 of them were dominant on the mound, but the offense also had a big day at the plate. Dan, what was up with the offense?
I think the biggest thing that was working offensively for this team, Nick, and you saw it in the game against Glens Falls the other day, was the walks. They were so disciplined. 10 in the game in total against Oneonta, and they really took advantage of all of those. So that was a big thing for this team. And Nick, we've seen it again too. You talked about it the other day versus Oneonta. It hasn't really been doubles, home runs, or triples. It's been primarily singles that have been aiding this team.
Yeah, but even though it's been only singles, the Saugerties Stallions still are first in the Eastern Conference of the PGCBL in batting average. So although they're not hitting for power, they're finding ways to get on base. Like you said, walks. 4 guys have been hit by pitches, which is also first in the conference in that statistic. So they're still finding a way to get on base and lead the league in runs, more importantly, despite driving the ball to gaps and even over the fence.
And that's going to be important, especially given tonight against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, because they only had 8 hits last time in the 2 games here at Veterans Memorial Park. We're now going to send it to our sideline reporter, Hannah Tampassis, who caught up with head coach Colin Martin ahead of today's clash.
I'm Hannah Tampassis, and alongside me I have head coach Colin Martin as the Saugerties Stallions head to Mohawk Valley to face the Diamond Dogs. So, Coach, you did miss the first game, and this is your second game back as your team made it to the JUCO Finals. Congratulations, by the way. What is it like to be back for the Stallions?
I think it's my 6th or 7th year, maybe going on 8, so very familiar with the landscape and the summer routines, and always excited to be back home in Saugerties.
That's great. And within the past 2 games, the Stallions have scored 22 runs. What has been clicking on offense?
I'd love to give you an accurate answer, but I'm not quite sure. I've only watched 1 game, of course, watched a live feed with the other, but the boys have been on it from the word go, and it's always good to score as many runs as possible early on. But they've done a good job from what I've seen to handling some little things. Coming through some big 2-out knocks, been aggressive on the bases, and been able to compile runs. So hopefully that's something that we can continue to build on and ride out as the summer gets going.
Most definitely. And the Stallions had a pretty successful season in 2024. How do you plan to implement the new guys and maintain your success?
A lot of new guys, a handful of returners, but that's kind of the same story for every summer. So, and it's a little bit of a skeleton crew for us early on, limited guys. So you flip a couple spots in the order from time to time. But as the summer goes on, teams finish up playoff runs, and guys take a week at home before they come up. You just kind of learn as you go, and the goals are to get a lot of reps for everybody individually heading into July, and then once you get into July, you kind of have a better idea of what your ideal lineup is. You've got more roles by that point in the year, and that makes it a lot of fun for the home stretch going into playoffs.
And the Stallions went 1-1-1 against the Diamond Dogs last year, all being very close games. Tensions were high as well. How do you plan to maintain composure as well as the team to hopefully come out on top and have your first game against the Diamond Dogs be a win?
I don't know that we'll go about any differently than we would with any other opponent. They had a really good group last year. We did play some tight games with them, and then, of course, had them at the end of the year. So we'll see what today brings. I'm sure they're going to have a good group again, and these guys are still anxious, so I'm sure it'll be another good game.
Most definitely. Well, thank you so much, and have a good game today.
And I'm interested to hear how head coach Colin Martin kind of navigates this game here in Mohawk Valley, Nick, because the Stallions went 1-0-1 here. Last season, they actually didn't win a game. They had a tie and a loss, but overall ended up with 2 wins against the Diamond Dogs.
Yeah, the 3 regular season games against Mohawk Valley last year was the definition of even, right? You mentioned it. 1 win, 1 loss, 1 tie. The win was at Cantine for Saugerties. And these teams even met in the postseason last year, which was a 1-run game. Saugerties came out with the win 5-4 in the Eastern Conference semifinal of the PGCPL. So these 2 teams last year definitely battled it out, and they gave everything they had in last season season's matchups.
I think the interesting thing as well is that these two teams had a run differential of 0 at the end of the season, which shows how tight they are. And that brings me to my key of the game here tonight. The thing I want to touch on is score runs. If you look back to last season, this team only scored 3 runs in total through 2 games, given they were both a double header here at Veterans Memorial Park. But we've seen the way that they've just attacked 19 runs through 2 games so far. I mean, for me, that's got to be what it is tonight.
Yeah, my key to the game is also on the offensive side, but I'm going to keep it more simple, something that we've talked about a lot during this show. It's the walks. You can't chase at the plate. Saugerties, like we've been saying, 19 walks through the first 2 games. They also lead the league 22 runs during the first 2 games. So if they don't chase, stay disciplined, stay in the box, get their pitches, put good swings on it, they'll score some runs, like you said, Dan.
Well, why don't we take a look now at the starting lineup for the Stallions that's going to try and generate some of those runs, and it really all starts at the top with Luis Rodriguez. Nick, he's been fantastic and also a monster on the base paths.
I think it even goes beyond Luis Rodriguez. The first 4, Rodriguez, Ford, Croce, and Haben Siefkin, the 4 of them combined for 9 of the 10 runs yesterday against 2 days ago, against Oneonta. So I think if all 4 of those guys have big days at the dish, Saugerties walks out with a win tonight.
We're going to see here tonight, just to run through it one more time, Rodriguez, Ford, Croce, who was the birthday boy a couple days ago and had a fantastic game. And then you just run down the line. Danny Barbaro making his first start for the squad. Jack Painter, Sam Blanco, Gabe Cavazzoni. And we'll talk about Marciano Neglia a little bit in the bottom of the first. But we're nearing first pitch here at Veterans Memorial Park. We're going to step aside on the other side of this break. Stallions coming to bat. Welcome back to Mohawk Valley. Dan Challen with you alongside Nick Zuppi here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. Ready for a pretty night of baseball here at Veterans Memorial Field. Nick, we talked about it a little bit in the pregame. Luis Rodriguez getting things going for this squad. He's been magnificent so far. 3 stolen bases in his last game and is sporting an average of .375.
Yeah, he's been everything in the leadoff spot that Saugerties could have asked for. Like you said, 3 stolen bases, using his legs to generate runs. Even last game, he walked, stole second, and then stole third, and then came around to score on a sac fly. So he's basically generating offense by himself.
And the pitcher he'll face on the bump tonight is Drew Harris, the rising sophomore from George Washington.
Yeah, Drew Harris, he's 6 foot, 185. He did pitch against the Amsterdam Mohawks just 2 days ago. It was in relief, but he did very well. He had 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned, 2 walks, and he did punch out 3 in that game. So the Stallions have a tough arm going against them tonight.
Yeah, ranked as the 43rd best right-handed pitcher from New Jersey. Brings some exceptional skill and competitiveness to this Diamond Dog squad that relied on the pitching down the stretch last season. They dominated Saugerties in the run category last time they were here, held the Stallions to just 3. But we know how electric this offense has been so far. 21 runs through the first 2. It seems like they're unstoppable at the plate right now.
I think everything that you could have asked for if you're a Saugerties fan it's going that way, right? They're not even driving the ball. That's my biggest thing. They're not hitting extra base hits. They're not lining the ball into the gaps or even over the fence for that matter. They're doing the little things, walking, hit by pitch, playing fundamental baseball. So if the Stallions start barreling up some baseballs, look out, folks.
Defensive alignment for the Diamond Dogs looks a little bit like this. Suarez is behind the plate going from third to first, left to right across the diamond. Hurd, Calabrese, Stoney, Hawk, and then in the outfield left to right, it's Hughes, Hart, and Sanchez. Second time the Stallions are on the road this year. The first one was the opener at Glens Falls. Got things done in that one. A 12-2 mercy in 7 innings. Saugerties will look to work efficiently once again here tonight as Luis Rodriguez steps to the dish. Last game against Oneonta, a 1-for-4 night for him with a walk, but the biggest number that we talked about already was those 3 stolen bases. Saugerties in total had 8 against Oneonta, so they were very active on the base pass. Will be interesting to see if it's the same thing here tonight. And we're underway here from Veterans Memorial Park. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Harris, the 6 foot, 185 rising sophomore, misses upstairs for ball 2. He has featured in the PGCBL already this summer, that being a relief appearance. This is his first start. In that one, 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. He finds himself down early here 3-0, and not a guy you want to issue a walk to here. You know Rodriguez is going to be flying out on the base pass if he gets on.
Yeah, definitely, for sure, Dan.
3-0 pitch. Misses high and away. It's a 4-pitch walk to Rodriguez to start things off. Just what the Stallions wanted here in Mohawk Valley.
Yeah, but the leadoff walk to me, Harris had 2 walks in just 3 innings last game. So I feel like if there's a way to beat him, it's to do it with the walk. Get on base, be disciplined, don't chase out of the zone.
Justin Ford to the dish now with Rodriguez over at first. 5 straight balls tossed into now by Harris. And you talk about Justin Ford. He leads this team in average so far. Sure, it's a small sample size, but batting .429 in just 2 games. They give a check over on Rodriguez. That's something he has to be wary of. He was nabbed at Glens Falls the first time he was at first base for the Stallions this season. Harris yet to deal a strike. That one is in there, and it's a 1-1 count.
Going back to Ford, though, he has 5 runs already in the first 2 games, so he's been doing a great job of getting on base and scoring runs that his teammates are knocking him in.
Fouls that one back, 1-2. And the Stallions and Diamond Dogs kind of became rivals last season. They didn't play that much in 2023. Played 4 times overall last season, and Saugerties knocked out Mohawk Valley in the Eastern Conference semifinals at Cantine Field. and then eventually bowed out to Amsterdam in the Eastern Conference Final. Rodriguez gets a lead over at first. He'll stay there. Pitch misses upstairs, and the count's knotted at 2s.
Another high fastball there from Harris. That's the pitch he's been going to so far. 9 total pitches, 6 fastballs up in the zone.
Harris issued 2 walks in his first outing. Rodriguez goes to second. He got a great jump. Didn't even have to slide, and he's into scoring position here in the top of the first. It's now 4 stolen bases for Rodriguez over the last 2 games, and we're only in the top of the first here at Veterans Memorial Park. Ford with a chance. Crosey's at the dish as Ford struck out. Crosey to the dish, and Crosey has been great so far this season for this Stallions team. Another guy who's really worked efficiently thus far. The batting average 250, but last game 2 for 5, had 2 doubles, which both drove in runs.
He's been the one run producer, right? 3-hole hitter. He's been the one driving the ball to the gaps. He had 2 doubles, like you said, Dan.
And the big number in which he leads the Stallions in is 5 RBIs. Nobody else has that on this squad thus far. And a perfect chance here, especially with Rodriguez's speed. A ball to the outfield could easily score the first run of this game. Rodriguez tried to go over to third. Nick, the Diamond Dogs are not even monitoring him over there at second. He had a great jump right there. He would have been safe.
I'm watching the second baseman, number 7, Sean Stoney. He's not even holding him on, like you said. You would think you would hold on a guy like Rodriguez. He has 4 stolen bases now.
1-2 count. Harris looking for back-to-back punch-outs. Misses at the top of the zone, 2-2. And it would make sense to put on a hit and run here if you're the Stallions. Try and be aggressive here on the road. Scratch that first run across. Harris will now give a check. And in his regular season with George Washington, allowed 13 earned, which for him, a guy who is just a rising sophomore, is not that bad of a number in 9 total innings. This one smacked over to the left side. It will get through. Rodriguez is coming home. There will be no throw, and the Stallions lead it 1-0 here at Veterans Memorial Park.
Croce continues to be the run producer. 6th RBI of the season, just finding way to hit guys in.
And we talked about it. This is the type of brand of baseball the Stallions have started to play this year. It's base to base. It's not trying to do too much. You're not trying to hit the home run ball. It's simply playing station to station and getting your guys across.
Fundamental baseball. Trust the guy hitting behind you.
Travis Haben-Seifkin to the dish now. That one finds the top of the zone for strike 1. Haben-Seifkin from Johnson University, 1 for 3 against Oneonta a couple of nights ago. Tasers this one over to short, backhanded by Calabrese. The throw gets away over to second. Going over to third will be Crosey, and the Stallions are set up with runners at the corners and 1 out here in the top of the first.
That's something we saw last game against Oneonta. A couple errors by the shortstop from Oneonta last game prolonged the inning. You can't do that against a prolific Stallions offense.
That will go down as an E6. Danny Barbero now at the dish, and this is his first plate appearance for the Stallions this season at Butler this past year. A .250 batting average for him in 54 games played. He takes a first pitch strike.
But he also did have 8 home runs, so him batting in the 5-hole tells me he's going to be one of the big run producers this summer for the Stallions.
And 30 RBIs, which is a very good number, and he has a chance to get number 1 here with the Ponies in the top of the first. Stallions putting on pressure. There's runners at the corners. Luis Rodriguez has already come across to score after reaching on a 4-pitch walk. Barbero looking to make an impact early on with this team. Haben-Seifkin got a good jump there from first base, but didn't end up going across. Counts 2-1. Barbero played 2 seasons at Siena before heading to Butler, was part of the Rookie of the Year team in the MAC a couple of years ago. So a guy who knows this area, is familiar with the Stallions. Has not played in the PGCBL before, but has a home here this year in Saugerties. Counts 2-2. Hammond Seifkin will go over. Strike 3 on Barbaro. But the Stallions have second and third here with 2 outs in the top of the first. Interesting, Nick, that there's been a walk, an RBI single, an E6, but yet Drew Harris hasn't let it get to him. He has 2 strikeouts, both swinging.
The biggest thing for me right now is the Stallions have 2 stolen bases, right?
And it's only the top of the first. Casey Comiskey at the dish. Went 0 for 3 against Oneonta a couple of nights ago. Still searching for his first hit as a Stallion. That one misses down low. Almost got away from Sorice behind the dish, but he stops it there. And we know that anything goes behind here at Veterans Memorial Park. The Stallions are going to be aggressive. They've shown that any pass ball they will run on so far this season.
You said it, Dan. Take advantage of that massive backstop behind the catcher right here.
The 1-1. Popped up behind the plate. Sorice going to it. Makes the catch. And the Diamond Dogs get out of the jam, but not before the Stallions scratch across 1 here in the top of the first. They take the lead into the bottom half. We'll be right back. Rick Danshaum with you alongside Nick Zuppi. As the Diamond Dogs come to the plate for the first time today, Joey Calabretti at the dish. First pitch upstairs from Marciano Neglia, and we'll get to him in a second, but Calabretti, the shortstop, 6'2", out of Seton Hall, so he's teammates with some of these guys on the Stallions side in the regular season, maybe a little bit of a rivalry here with some of the others on this team. So far this season, batting .083. It hasn't been a great start for him, 1 for 12. But this season in college, 189, so just looking to get some more reps here in Mohawk Valley this summer. Neglia misses downstairs. It's a 2-1 count.
You mentioned it. Last game against the Glen Falls Dragons, he went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, so not his best day at the plate.
And we know the quality of the Glens Falls Dragons pitching staff is not the best, so definitely a chance here for Calabretti to get himself back on track. Neglia struggling a little bit to start. It's a 3-1 count. We saw the same thing on the other side with Drew Harris to start the game. He issued a 4-pitch walk to Luis Rodriguez, and he eventually came around to score to be the first run of this game. It's a 5-pitch walk to Calabretti, and Nick, time to talk about Marciano Neglia now, the man on the mound for the Stallions in this game. He played with Saugerties last season and spent his time college-wise at Rockland Community this past season.
Yeah, I would think he had a good year with the Stallions last year. He made 10 relief appearances to go along with 4 starts. He had a 1-0 record, 3.53 ERA, and he struck out 14 guys over 28 innings pitched for Saugerties last season.
A 4.57 ERA over at Rockland Community this past season. And Neglia, a guy who's just going to pound the zone. He's definitely a contact pitcher, but he was a solid arm for the Stallions in relief and to start last season. Definitely big for them to have him back this year. He finds the top of the zone for strike 1. Edwin Sanchez, the right fielder, is at the dish here for the Diamond Dogs. And Sanchez, another local guy, plays his college ball at Siena. As Calabretti gets his lead off of first. This one chopped to the third base side. Crosey's going to play it, makes an athletic play over to first, but the play is called foul. 0-2. Crosey's been excellent out there defensively and offensively. Really can't talk enough about him so far this season. He's been, for me, the MVP of this team thus far.
For sure. He's batted third in the lineup, playing shortstop, playing third today because Kaminsky's at shortstop with the new addition of Barbero at second base, bumps everyone one to the left. But Croce, like you said, MVP in my book as well, Dan.
Sanchez, a .234 batting average at Siena this past season. Neglia's 0-2. Misses in the dirt, and I don't hate that pitch there from Neglia. Why not bury something in the dirt? Don't want to give anything to hit there to Sanchez.
Change the eye levels too, right? The previous pitch was a fastball toward the upper third of the zone. The changeup down low just completely changes the eye level of the hitter.
1-2 count. Calabretti is over at first. That one can't catch the zone. It's 2-2. And Sanchez, while having the .234 batting average in college, was a stud coming out of high school, the 30th ranked outfield prospect from Virginia, and was an all-state second-team selection. Neglia's off speed just misses, and the count goes full. You think about maybe sending over Calabretti here, putting him in motion?
I would think so. If you send Calabretti, it keeps you out of the double play to start the inning.
Neglia with a check over at first. Stallions leading 1-0 on a cool night here at Veterans Memorial Park as the sun starts to dip. First time that the Stallions have played here this season. The payoff. Popped up over to the right side. Painter is chasing it. He runs out of room. Actually slips on some of the Diamond Dogs bullpen gear out there. That's dangerous and definitely something to watch out for.
You would think, right? There's no fencing along that bullpen, like you said, just no room for him to stop running.
It's a unique thing about a lot of the ballparks in this league is there's so much foul territory that things can get ugly quickly. The Stallions had an incident up at Watertown last season that actually resulted in one of the players getting a concussion because of a foul ball. Payoff. Misses upstairs. That's back-to-back walks to start Neglia's outing, and he's in some hot water as the third baseman, Justin Hurd, comes to the plate.
Number 27 from SUNY Albany, Justin Hurd.
Neglia, like we mentioned, a pitcher that puts the ball in play. The double play is in order here. Still no outs. We see Blanco just calming him down out on the field. Neglia knows how to work out of trouble. Had a 3.53 with the Stallions last season. But on the other side, Hurd, a .280 batting average at UAlbany this past year. Runners are at first and second. Neglia deals. That one's fouled off to the right side for strike one. Hurd didn't have a lot of action. We said the 280 batting average, but made use of those reps. 8 games, started 7. 3 RBIs. Searching for number 1 of his Mohawk Valley Diamond Dog season here in the bottom of the first.
Searching for his first hit as well. He has 6 walks.
That OBP, sky high, but looking for a hit. Was looking to lay down the bunt. That one actually comes off the bat, so it will be a strike. And not what you want if you're Hurd, especially with the count at 0-1 there. Neglia can attack now.
It's an interesting approach, though. Your 3-hitter bunting with first and second. You would think your 3-hitter is the job of the 3-hitters to drive in some runs, right? Look at Croce for the Stallions.
Especially in the bottom of the first, too. It's not a situation where you necessarily need to score right now.
Exactly. You could put up a crooked number.
0-2. Misses upstairs. Neglia had Sanchez in an 0-2 count before eventually walking him, so has to try and settle here to get this important out.
I wonder if this is going to be a pattern with Stallion pitchers, because 2 days ago against Oneonta, we saw Svensson get ahead of numerous guys 0-2, and then eventually the hitters would work their count back to full.
Those 0-2 counts were 4 consecutive to the Oneonta hitters in that top half of the first. And just talking about Svensson, he was magnificent the other night. 6 strikeouts across 4 innings, only giving up 1 earned.
But my biggest thing was the 1 walk, right? He let his defense work behind him in addition to those 6 strikeouts.
Neglia's got to do that right now. 2-2. Looped out into right field, this one curving foul. Haven Siefkin doesn't have a play. The count stays at 2-2. Small crowd here tonight at Veterans Memorial Park. First of 2 trips that the Stallions will make up here to Mohawk Valley, the second being in mid-July.
After only making 1 trip here last year.
And both those games that they played were in the same day. It was a doubleheader, and the Stallions tied the first one 2-2 and then ended up falling 2-1 on a walk-off in Game 2. Neglia comes set at the belt, now deals. Just misses on the outside corner, and just like last at-bat, the count goes from 0-2 to full.
Just like last at-bat, too, Calabretti left from first. Now are they going to do a double steal? Who knows?
Hurd looking for his first base knock as a Diamond Dog. Neglia searching for an important out. The payoff. Fouled back, and we'll do it again. And Hurd did play with the Diamond Dogs last season, was a part of this team throughout. 35 hits for him. And they're very happy to have him back in Mohawk Valley for his second season, looking for an important at-bat here. He's staying alive and battling here against Neglia.
4 foul balls in this at-bat alone.
Neglia fires. Strike 3, he got him. A big K for Marciano Neglia, and there's 1 down here in the bottom of the first.
Neglia can now take a deep breath, right? He's got his first out of the season, first strikeout under his belt. He can now take a big sigh of relief to finally get an out and put a pause on maybe what could be a damaging inning for Mohawk.
Olschlager will come to the plate now. He's the DH tonight for this team. Comes from Rensselaer Polytech Institute. Still runners at first and second. A double play would get the Stallions out of this jam. And we talked about the contact pitching that Neglia has in his arsenal. In 2024 with Saugerties, 28 innings pitched, just 14 strikeouts. Shows you that he likes to put the ball in play, but he lets his defense go to work for it.
And only 12 walks, so he keeps the ball in the zone, more importantly.
But Olschlager is someone you don't want to be facing in this position. He earned the Liberty League Rookie of the Year, which is the league that RPI plays in. So he's a dangerous hitter at the dish. And just someone you really don't want to be in this position. A .429 batting average. He has a chance to really get going here in just the 4th game of the season for the Diamond Dogs.
And a 7.14 slug, so obviously he's a very capable slugger in the box.
Al misses outside. And Nick, if we do some math, and I know you and I aren't math guys, but that comes out to around a 1.1 OPS. And if you have a 1.1 OPS, you're clearly doing something right.
You're almost on Aaron Judge level.
Runners are at first and second. 1 out here in the bottom of the 1st. Just seems like Neglia is having trouble locating the zone here in the bottom of the 1st.
Specifically the fastball. You saw him right there fall off to the first base side of the mound. His fastball's kind of been erratic so far to start the game.
A walk would load the bases. 1 down here in the bottom of the 1st. That one misses high and away, and the bases are juiced. Brandon Hawk, the first baseman, going to be the one to try and knock in some runs here for the Diamond Dogs. Hawk, his first at-bat here in the PGCBL season of 2025. And what a chance on his hands to make an impact in his first AB. Bases loaded, 1 out. Neglia catches the top of the zone for strike 1.
And some action in the Saugerties bullpen already. You see 2 guys using the armbands, 1 guy stretching. So I wonder how far of a leash manager Martin will give Neglia.
Cut and a miss, and Neglia ahead 0-2 once again. But Nick, the problem has been he doesn't have the put-away stuff thus far here in the bottom of the 1st.
You talked about it earlier in the inning. He's more of a contact guy, therefore more contact, more foul balls, more pitches in the ABs.
And for me, this start has just been uncharacteristic. Simply walks and strikeouts is not Marciano Neglia's brand of baseball. But he's a chance to make it all go away. Here in an 0-2 count, the pitch. Hits him. Just skims off. Neglia not happy with that one. He's confused as to why runners are coming home, but it'll go down as a hit by pitch. So now in the first 5 batters, Neglia has walked or hit 4.
No hits yet for Mohawk Valley, like you said.
It's a 1-1 game. As the Stallions are going to have a mound visit here to just calm Neglia down. We saw Blanco come out to try and settle him a little bit earlier. What do you think the conversation is right now between everyone on the bump?
I think he's just going to try to install some confidence in Neglia. It's early in the season, early in the game. It's very early for him as a whole. He hasn't pitched recently. He's the only pitcher on the roster that hasn't pitched a game for the Stallions. So I think he's just going to instill confidence, saying, you got this, go get the job done, we believe in you.
And Nick, the funny thing is, the Stallions haven't trailed once this entire season, that at risk of being broken right now. But this is not a team that's used to being behind just yet.
No, you're right on the money, Dan. Last game against Oneonta, they were up 2-1 until basically the 7th inning, until the explosion at the end.
Stallions facing some adversity on the road early. Bases are loaded here for Caden Hart, the center fielder. First pitch misses upstairs for ball 1. Hart hasn't played a single inning of college baseball just yet. He's a rising freshman committed to Virginia Tech. The 1-0. In there for strike 1.
Hart has played baseball in the PGCBL, though. Last game against Glen Falls, he went 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts, but did have an RBI in that one.
And what a chance to make that all go away right here with the bases loaded. Stallions sticking in the double play defense. This one's popped up on the infield, and that's infield fly, just what the doctor ordered, and there's 2 outs.
Just as good as a strikeout, right? Pop up to first, the runners don't go anywhere. Strikeout, runners don't go anywhere. That's what he does.
So with 2 down here in the bottom of the 1st, Nico Soros will come to the dish. He's the catcher tonight for Mohawk Valley. Soros, a local guy, Hudson Valley Community College product. this past season sported a .366 batting average. So not a guy Neglia wants to be facing in this situation with the bases still juiced. A big cut and a miss for strike one.
He also drove in 34 runs in 40 games, so he likes hitting with runners in scoring position.
Here's the 0-1. Misses on the inside corner. Sanchez is at third. Olschlager is at second. Hawk at first here in the bottom half of the first. Soros at the dish. Neglia can't find the zone. It's 2-1. A lot of pitches here for Marciano in the bottom of the first.
He's been mixing it up, fastball, breaking ball. He hasn't really seemed to land either consistently for a strike thus far.
Did go to the fastball for his last strikeout, that being against Hurd, and then created some weak content against Hart for the second out of this inning.
He went fastball right there, and Soros was extremely late on that one, maybe sitting breaker.
One pitch away from getting out of the jam. It's a 2-2 count. 2 out here in the bottom of the first. Bases loaded. Neglia deals. Strike 3. Neglia gets out of the jam. The Stallions can breathe a sigh of relief. It's 1-1 as we head to the second.
All right, Dawgs fans, get ready for some staff.
Welcome back to Mohawk Valley. Dan Challen with you alongside Nick Zuppi here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. Nick, before we get to anything about the Stallions offense here in the top half of the second, Marciano Neglia working out of the bases loaded jam and only giving up a singular run. That's impressive.
You used a big word there, working, right? He really had to work to get out of that one. 3 walks, a hit by pitch, but 2 strikeouts to get him out of it.
And some weak content to Caden Hart to get the infield fly with 1 out, allowed Neglia to get out of the jam, and now time for the Stallions to go back on offense. They've got 7, 8, 9 coming up. Jack Painter, Sam Blanco, and Gabe Cavazzoni.
First baseman, number 12, from Wofford College, Jack Painter.
Painter 0 for 2 against Oneonta on Sunday night, but did have 3 walks, so a very disciplined eye at the plate. Is also up there for average on this team, .333 so far this year. It's an 0-2 count to Painter. Harrison this game already with 2 strikeouts. Both got him swinging. He misses at the top of the zone for ball 1. This is a Diamond Dogs team that was competitive last year, but in the past was extremely skilled and pushing always at the top of the league. 2015 and 2017 PGCBL champions, made the playoffs last year, made the playoffs in 2023, but in 22 and 21 missed out on things. So they've been a program that's been building back to prominence in the last few years.
Even last year, they were 3.5 games behind the Stallions, and the Stallions finished in second. So like you said, building up a program.
2-2. This one hit straight over to first. Hawks on it. He will take it to the bag for out number 1. And the Diamond Dogs are usually a team that start to heat up towards the end of the season. This now marks the 4th straight season where they've started 1-2 on the campaign. And even last year, they were sitting in that 6th, 5th spot in the PGCBL before they made a late surge to go on and get the 3 seed in the East. Sam Blanco at the dish, the catcher tonight. Blanco was the DH last time. And behind the plate. And if you remember from the Glens Falls game, he nabbed 2 of the 3 runners that tried to go on him. He was spectacular behind the dish. And already this season has a batting average of .286 through 2 games.
3 runs to go along with it, so he's scoring runs and keeping runs from the other team.
1-1. Skied out to right center field. Chasing is Sanchez. It'll be Hart to make the play. 2 quick outs here in the top of the second.
Now batting for Saugerties is designated hitter number 22 from Seton Hall.
Nick, one of the most interesting things about this ballpark is that center field is actually more shallow than left and right. It's about 350 to center field and then 373 down the right and left field lines. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
To me, this is the complete opposite of the iconic field, the Polo Grounds, right? You play with it in MLB The Show, it's like 250 down the left and right field line and like what feels like 800 into center field. This one is completely the inverse.
Gabe Cavazzoni, the DH, at the dish. And as we go along in this PGCBL season and the Stallions visit every team in the East, you'll see the ballparks get a little bit more wonky. Shuttleworth Park being the craziest. It's 280 down the left and right field line in Amsterdam. Saugerties won't travel up there till towards the end of June. We're scheduled to play there last week, but that game got rained out.
One Stallion member last year who took full advantage of that left field line, Justin Ford, 2 homers at Amsterdam last year.
Cavazzoni goes down on strikes. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Drew Harris. Score stays 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the second. Marciano Neglia out there for his second inning of work. We see that Jace Van Valkenburg is warming in the pen. Going to be interesting to see how far they let Neglia go after the amount of work he had to deal with in the first. Hughes will start things off here in the bottom half of the second. Hughes, a returner to this Diamond Dogs team from last season, and he was someone to watch out for. Last season batted around 200, but he did have an excellent season at Hudson Valley Community in the year before, batting above 250. Hits this one in between the hole of short and third, and it's a leadoff single for Ethan Hughes here in the bottom half of the second.
Back-to-back innings now. Mohawk Valley has got the leadoff batter on base.
That's their first hit of the ball game, though. All runners that reached in that bottom half of the first were by walks or hit by pitch. Sean Stoney, the second baseman, to the dish now. Stoney hits and pitches, so he does a little bit of everything. 260 average down at Lincoln University this past season, while also sporting a 5.33 ERA in 25 1/3 innings pitched. Neglia finds the zone for strike 2.
Quickly working ahead after the leadoff single, 0-2 on Stoney.
Going to be interesting to see if he can work out of the 0-2 count. It's actually been a problem for him early on in this game. Had a couple of them last inning where it went from 0-2 to 3-2 very quickly. The 1-2 pitch. Misses outside for ball 2.
Back-to-back breaking balls by Neglia after back-to-back fastballs to start the at-bat.
He's been varying up that pitch mix, but he hasn't had a singular one in his arsenal to go to sit a guy down just yet. Neglia deals. Off-speed misses at the top of the zone, and just like we were talking about, it was 0-2, and now the count's full.
Hughes at first in the first inning when Calabretti reached as the leadoff hitter. He stole in this exact scenario, so I wonder if Hughes is going to be on the move.
Hughes stays. A late swing there from Stoney. He was behind that pitch.
Doing anything he can to stay alive, right?
See if Neglia goes back to the off speed. The payoff. Strike 3 got him swinging. Neglia, 3 strikeouts here through now an inning and a third. And with 1 out here in the bottom of the second, Joey Calabretti will come to the dish. Calabretti walked to start off things for the Diamond Dogs in the bottom of the first, and then eventually he came around to score. That one misses for ball 1. Still sitting at 1 for 12 on the season so far. Struggled against Glens Falls the other night, an 0 for 4 3-strikeout evening.
Very uncharacteristic out of him. He had 37 at-bats, and he had 9 strikeouts just this past season at Seton Hall.
Lines this one to the left side, foul. And the count goes to 1-2. Neglia, 3 strikeouts already, searching for number 4. Only one of his outs in this game has not come by way of a K. Hughes goes over to second. That one misses outside. Throw down. Almost got into the outfield. Comiskey's there to back it up, but it's a stolen base for Ethan Hughes. First stolen bag of the evening for the Diamond Dogs. Runner is in scoring position. A ball to the outfield could give the Diamond Dogs a lead for the first time tonight. Neglia fires. Fouled straight back. Calabretti was on that one.
Another Mohawk Valley Diamond Dog hitter making Neglia work. 3 foul balls in this at-bat alone.
Two-two pitch. Misses down low. That one gets away from Blanco. And we talked about the large backstop there at home plate. If one gets by your catcher, without a doubt, any runners on base are going to move up 90 feet.
That one looked like it bounced on home plate and took a fortuitous bounce for the Diamond Dogs on that one.
This now another at-bat where Neglia has been ahead, but then has worked against himself and made it a full count. Ball to the outfield, gives the Diamond Dogs the lead. This one's chopped foul to the left side.
Van Valkenburg and the Stallion bullpen warmed up, ready to go, just waiting for the manager to make the move. For a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen.
I don't know if you're going to see it, Nick, here in this inning, because I think Neglia has the length here to finish it out. Payoff. popped up to the right side. Barbero under it. He makes the play. 2 down here in the bottom of the second. All the outs for Neglia have been strikeouts or weak pop flies in the infield.
I think the biggest thing now, he just needs to pump the zone with strikes. These Mohawk Valley hitters, they're very off balance, as you just said, strikeouts and pop outs, so just start pumping the zone.
Edwin Sanchez, the right fielder, steps into the box. He walked in the bottom half of the first and was stranded at third once the inning came to an end. Neglia deals. This one hit into center field. Haben Siefkin is on it for out number 3. So Neglia once again gets out of the jam, holds the Diamond Dogs to nothing here in the bottom half of the second. We head to the third, still tied at 1. Top half of the third here in Mohawk Valley. Nick, both of these offenses started hot in the first, taking advantage of some of both pitchers' errors by giving up walks. But since then, things have settled down.
You said it. Run for each team in the first, followed by a scoreless inning in the second. Top of the order now for the Stallions to start the third.
Now, Luis Rodriguez to the dish. Fouls that one off to the right side for strike 1. And Rodriguez walked in the top half of the first and then eventually came around to score and also stealed second while he was out there. That one misses on the outside corner for ball 1. Harris shakes off his sign. Now comes to the plate. Misses upstairs. And Harris has worked pretty efficiently so far in this game. Had a 1-2-3 top half of the second. And outside of the RBI single he issued to Croce and the walk, he's been excellent. Can't find the zone. It's 3-1.
The defense has not helped them so far, though. The error by the shortstop in the bottom of the first definitely led to more runs from the Stallions.
Rodriguez works another walk. He's been a walk machine so far this season. Now 5 in total for him. Justin Ford to the dish now. Struck out swinging in his first at-bat in the top of the first. But a guy like Ford doesn't strike out swinging and then come back on the next at-bat and just go down in 3 pitches. He's going to put up a fight here. In there for strike 1.
Ford, familiar with this ballpark, played against Mohawk Valley last year, 4 games. In those games, he hit .230. This is including the postseason, of course, where he had 3 walks, an RBI, and 2 strikeouts.
Rodriguez dashing over to second. This one's put in play. A tailor-made double play as the ball was hit directly over to Calabretti. They turn 2, and there's 2 down here in the top of the third.
Rodriguez running right there actually did not help the Stallions because it brought it brought Calabretti to the bag. Easy field step on second, unassisted double play.
Nick Croce to the dish now. Had an RBI single in the first, which scored the Stallions' lone run of this ball game. That one finds the zone for strike one. Just a bad break there for Justin Ford. That one seemed like it could have been actually straight through second base. If Rodriguez had not been covering, there would have been no reason for Calabretti to have been standing at second base when the ball was put in play.
And then 2 runners on for your number 3 hitter, the guy Croce, who's been driving him in all season so far for Saugerties. Would have been a prime run-producing spot for the Stallions.
Croce was the player of the game against Oneonta. Had 2 RBI doubles in the latter half of the game, that being in the 7th and 8th inning, to give the Stallions that 10-1 victory.
On his 20th birthday, nonetheless.
Hits this one over to Calabretti once again. He fields it cleanly, throws to first in time. And Drew Harris has retired 6 straight batters here at Mohawk Valley. We head to the bottom of the third. It's still 1-1. Bottom of the third here at Veterans Memorial Park. Pitching change here for the Stallions. They make a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen. Jace Van Valkenburg is on to relieve Marciano Neglia.
In his 2-inning outing, Neglia was just all over the place. Couldn't really locate the zone. He did get weak contact and 3 strikeouts to go along with it, but he just could not find the zone consistently.
He exits with a final line of 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 4 walks issued, but also 3 strikeouts. So a mixed bag for Neglia, and Van Valkenburg will come on now for the 2nd time this season. Last appearance being at Glens Falls in the opener, where he threw 3 innings of scoreless ball.
Now batting for the Diamond Dogs, the third baseman, number 27 from SUNY Albany, Justin Hurd.
Justin Hurd will start things off for the Diamond Dogs here in the bottom of the third. No scoring for either squad since the first inning. Van Valkenburg ahead 0-1. This one's popped up to the right side. Painter calls for it, and he makes the play for out number 1.
Now batting for the Diamond Dogs, the designated hitter, number 14 from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, Ian Olschlager.
Ian Olschlager next, the DH. Walked in his first at-bat, but a hit for him in the scenario the Diamond Dogs were in, where it was first and second with 1 out. Could have proved very helpful, as he was the Liberty League Rookie of the Year with a .429 average this past season, so he knows how to hit the baseball, but had a disciplined eye and worked the walk in his first trip to the plate. See if it's any different here. Van Valkenburg deals 1-0. That one's fouled back for strike 1.
Jace Van Valkenburg, number 13.
1-1 count. That one runs in and nabs the knob of the bat there. for Olschlager. It counts 1-2. Van Valkenburg fires. This one hit over to short. Comiskey fields it cleanly. Throws to first in time. 2 quick outs here for Van Valkenburg.
Now batting from the Diamond Dogs, the first baseman, number 23, from St. Thomas Aquinas College, Brandon Ha.
With 2 out, Brandon Hawk will come to the dish. He was hit by the pitch, which loaded the bases in that bottom half of the first. Neglia would eventually work out of it, but so far here, Nick, Jace Van Valkenburg has looked great through 2 batters.
He's pumping the zone with strikes. He's making Mohawk Valley put it in play and then letting his defense work behind him.
Quickly up 0-2 here on Hawk. Van Valkenburg with just 3 strikeouts the other day against Glens Falls, searching for number 1 here at Veterans Memorial Park. Come set, now deals. This one hit over to second. Barbero makes the play. A 1-2-3 inning for Jace Van Valkenburg in his first inning of work. Nick Zuppi will have you in the 4th. Scores 1-1 here from Veterans Memorial Park.
Jr., who's from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, there's obviously a big difference between Atlanta and the village of Saugerties. So what is your main difference? Have you had any culture shock?
Oh, yeah. Not really culture shock, but a big difference is the weather. It was pretty cool out here our first day. Like, we used to the heat out there in the southern. So
Yeah, it's definitely not usually like that in June. I don't really know what's going on, but what are you most looking forward to with the Saugerties Stallions this summer?
really opening my opportunities, looking like playing more baseball because I redshirted this year. And I'm just trying to get more opportunities to be a better player in college and get the better experience.
Most definitely. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a good season this year.
Thank you so much.
Back to you guys.
Thank you.
Welcome back, folks. I'm Nick Zuppi to the top of the 4th inning. Thank you, Hannah, for that awesome sideline hit. For the Stallions, it will be Travis Hobbian-Seekin to start this top of the 4th. He reached on an East 6 and back in the 1st and also stole the base. New pitcher for Mohawk Valley, Dominic Persicelli. He's a redshirt sophomore out of Hudson Valley Community College, and he's actually just healthy for the first time in 2 years. He's coming off of labrum surgery that, like I said, kept him out of the past 2 college seasons.
You got to feel good for the guy to finally get back on the bump. Sported a 7.71 ERA a couple seasons ago in 2023. That was the last time he actually saw live action.
Hobbian-Seekin ahead in the count, 2-0, excuse me. Going back to the bottom of the 3rd, though, Van Valkenburg in relief of Neglia, a very strong 1-2-3 inning.
He just pounded the zone. It was something that Neglia was struggling with, and we know that Neglia has the stuff to do the same exact thing, but Van Valkenburg, a fresh arm for this team, just went out there with confidence, and it showed.
And a familiar arm at that. He made 7 relief appearances, including 4 starts last season for the Stallions, supported a 3.42 ERA and 23.2 innings. But Haben Siefkin works a walk, and the Stallions have the leadoff runner on for the second time in 4 innings.
Drew Harris, the starter for Mohawk Valley, was excellent. 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run given up on his line. Exits the game with 3 strikeouts and 2 walks. Really the start that Mohawk Valley wanted outside of those first 3 batters in the first inning.
He also exited, retiring the final 8 batters, but now number 47, Danny Barbaro, is at the dish for Saugerties after a strikeout in the first. Barbaro making his PGCBL debut tonight for Saugerties, playing second base. Haben Siefkin runs, but Barbaro stands there, and Haben Siefkin is in there without a throw. Barbaro standing 5'8", 190 in the box. 1-1 count. Popped up. Catcher Cerise making a run for it, but it hits the stands. 1-2 now is the count with Haben Siefkin on second after the stolen base.
Stallions got to take advantage here. It's the first base runner that they've had since last inning, but Ford got doubled up there. So they need to make an impact here, not scoring anything since the first inning, which we really haven't seen from this team a lot this year, Nick.
Barbaro, though, very capable of runners in scoring position. Last year he drove in 30 at Butler. Here he is flying one to right. Sanchez has a beat on it, making a run for it right around the foul ball line. Here's Haben Siefkin tagging up, cut off by Calabretti around the pitcher's mound, and Barbaro advances Haben Siefkin to third with just 1 out, and Casey Kaminsky coming up to the dish.
That's a productive out number 1 right there. And Kaminsky, a guy who really needs a pick-me-up right now. He's still searching for his first hit as a Stallion, and what a better way to do that here. With 1 out, a ball to the outfield gives the Stallions a 2-1 lead.
He has been reaching base, though. He has 3 walks in the first 2 games. So even though he's not hitting, he's still finding ways to get on base, which is the biggest thing. Mohawk Valley will keep the infield back. Tie game 1-1. Haben Siefkin at third after the Barbaro sac fly. Purcelli winds and fires high up inside on Kaminsky. Kaminsky, one of 4 Seton Hall Pirates on the Stallions team, playing shortstop today after second base 2 days ago against Oneonta. Persicilli's 1-0 is a big swing and a miss from Kaminsky, way in front of that off-speed pitch.
Don't have to try and do too much here. Just put a ball into the outfield, and the Stallions will have the lead.
1-1 now the count, 1 out. Haben Siefkin still on third. Persicilli winds and fires low and away, ball 2. Back-to-back breaking balls from the Mohawk right-hander.
He was pounding the zone with fastballs to start off in the first 2 at-bats here, so I think that's probably what he's going to go back to here.
2-1. You don't want to get the 3-1 count for the hitter, so I would not be surprised if he goes back to the four-seamer as well. Here he is, winds and firing, low in the dirt, ball 3, but another breaking ball, no fastball on that one.
We know that the Stallions team loves to draw walks. 10 last game against Oneonta, already 2 here tonight.
And 9 in the first one to lead the perfect game College Baseball League Eastern Conference. Persicilli's 3-1 is outside, ball 4, so Kaminsky draws his 4th walk of the season in just 3 games for Saugerties.
And Nick, now what you have to do here if you're Saugerties, and we saw it against Oneonta last game, you have runners at the corners with only 1 out. You have to be sending Kaminsky over to second base here, and Mohawk Valley going to talk this one over.
You said it. Runners on the corners, first and third, 1-1 game. Top of the 4th, mound visit by Mohawk Valley.
Luis Rodriguez came home to steal twice against Oneonta when there was a runner over at first. The Stallions have shown this play before this season.
The biggest thing, though, on those 2 plays, the catcher threw all the way to second base, which allowed Rodriguez to go home.
And if there's no throw, you win anyways because you break up the double play.
Exactly. That's the thing. The Stallions so far have been using their legs to generate offense, not necessarily the bats, which is still a good thing. But if you can combine the 2, that's the ideal opportunity to produce runs. Meeting on the mound is over. Infielders are returning to their positions. Up next for the Stallions is number 12 playing first base, Jack Painter. Painter last game against the Outlaws had 3 walks and 2 strikeouts, 0 for 2 in that one. He's second on the Stallions in walks with 4, but is also 2 for 6, therefore has a batting average of .333. Persicilli, Kaminsky running at first, and there is no throw from the catcher Soris. So now second and third with Haben Siefken at third base for Painter.
What I tell you, Nick, that's all you had to do. No double play in order now. A ball to the right side of the infield should give the Stallions the lead.
I mean, are you a fortune teller? Like, how did you come up with that one?
I don't know. But hopefully my fortune, once again, of a ball going to the right side comes true for Saugerties' sake.
Painter takes the high fastball, now 2-0 on the Wofford product. Persicilli, like Neglia, not able to find the zone consistently with the four-seamer. Behind in the count, 2-0. He hasn't seen much action, like we said earlier. He's just coming off of labrum surgery, which kept him out the past 2 seasons. And that changeup is low in the dirt, ball 3. So Painter, who's been a walk machine so far, is already ahead in the count, 3-0, with Haben Siefken on third and Kaminsky on second.
Now the Diamond Dogs are going to talk it over once again. Soris going out to the mound. It seems like Persicilli could be in some pain here. He's pulling at that right shoulder.
Which is not a good sign because it was the right labrum that kept him out the past 2 years at Hudson Valley Community College. So you have to hope for the best. He did all that recovery the past 2 years to finally get back on the mound.
And that's just heartbreaking to see. He's going to exit this game. And for a guy who rehabbed 2 years to get back to this point and is finally back on the mound, having to leave because of that same injury is just heartbreaking.
Yes. Top of the fourth, 1-1, Stallions in business. Runners on second and third, top of the fourth. Tie game, 1-1, and Sam Blanco coming to the dish when we come back. Welcome back to Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs home stadium. Jack Painter is at the dish, 3-0 count after the injury to Dominic Purcelli. New pitcher for the Diamond Dogs, John Montaigne. The 3-0 pitch is a fastball on the outside corner, and if you weren't here with us before the break, the Stallions are in business. Runners on second and third. Kaminsky's on second. Haben Siefken is on third. Both drew walks to get there. The 3-1 from Montaigne is inside, ball 4. So now Painter walks for the 6th time this season, which sets up a bases-loaded opportunity for the catcher, Sam Blanco.
And, Nick, we just have to go back to Dom Persicilli, who was on the mound for the Diamond Dogs before he went to commercial. He leaves the game pulling at that right shoulder. Spent 2 years rehabbing to get back to this point. Missed all of last year, missed all of this year. So you just got to feel for him. But the Stallions now with a chance to open up this game with the bases loaded at only 1 out.
The first pitch to Blanco is in the dirt, ball 1. Blanco, the catcher today, last game against Oneonta, went 1 for 4. He did have an RBI on a hit by pitch in the bottom of the second. And he also came around to score a run later in the game. Montaigne's 1-1 is hit foul by Blanco, but John Montaigne is familiar with the PGCBL. 2024 last summer, he played with Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. In those games, he had a 3.55 ERA. He made 10 appearances, started 8, but pitched 36 innings for the Diamond Dogs. Montaigne's 1-1 is a line drive by Blanco past the shortstop. Pugh's throw home is cut off by Hurd, and Sam Blanco gives the Stallions the lead 2-1 in the top of the 4th.
We talk about it over and over and over again. Just keep the game simple, and that's all Sam Blanco did right there. RBI single through the hole, not trying to do too much, not swinging for the fences, and the Stallions have a 2-1 lead, and the bases are still loaded with 1 out.
Base to base, that will bring up Gabe Cavazzoni, the DH today. In his first at-bat, he struck out. Harris K'd him on a fastball in the top of the second. Here he is putting in one in play. Calabretti, the shortstop, to Stoney to second. Back to first. Nice scoop by Hauken, the full split. But he is safe. That draws another run for the Stallions. 3-1 Saugerties over Mohawk Valley.
Saugerties will take that all day. Cavazzoni doing what he does best, just putting the ball in play. Second RBI of the season for him.
The top of the order now coming up for the Stallions. Luis Rodriguez reached base twice, both by the way of the walk. Came around to score the Stallions' lone run in the first. Prime opportunity for the Saugerties leadoff hitter. Runner going away at first. Rodriguez is hit by the pitch. So that will load the bases for the number 2 batter who's playing left today, big number 55, Justin Ford.
That's already now 5 walks for the Stallions in this game, Nick. 1 hit by pitch. They're just taking advantage of all these teams' errors. Every team they played so far has given them 9 base on balls or hit by pitch. You just can't do that to a team like this.
Ford back in the second, grounded into a double play where Calabretti fielded it nicely, stepped on the bag, and threw it to first to double up Rodriguez after he stole. Here's Montaigne's first pitch of the AB to Ford, a breaking ball in there for a strike. Ford also back in the first struck out when Rodriguez was on first base. 2 outs now, bases loaded. Painter on third, Rodriguez on first, and Kaminsky on second.
You kind of feel like this is a spot where Justin Ford is due after the strikeout and the double play. He wants to get one right here, and it would be a perfect time for the Stallions to blow this game wide open.
He did drive in 31 runs in 37 games for the Stallions last season, so a very capable hitter with runners in scoring position. Montaigne's 1-1 is skied to left by Ford. Going back on it is Pugh's, camped underneath it, and that will retire the Stallions. So Saugerties puts 2 runs on the board in the top of the 4th. Now Van Valkenburg has a chance to silence Mohawk Valley when we come back in the bottom of the 4th inning. Alongside Dan Shalom, bringing you the bottom of the fourth inning between Mohawk Valley and the Saugerties Stallions. Last inning in the top of the fourth, Saugerties played it 2. Sam Blanco with the big RBI single that drew in a 1, and along with a couple of walks and hit by pitches mixed in there, gave Saugerties a 3-1 lead. Coming out for a second inning of work in relief of Marciano Neglia is Jace Van Valkenburg. Last inning in the bottom of the third, he had a 1-2-3 very smooth inning after Neglia had to work to get the first 6 outs of this one.
And Nick, he's already ahead here again. It's 1-2.
Ahead on the center fielder, Caden Hart. Van Valkenburg ahead 1-2. Winds and fires. This one put in play. High hop to Kaminsky. His throw over to Painter is in time to retire the Mohawk Valley hitter. 4 set down for Van Valkenburg in relief.
From Hudson Valley Community College,
Nico Soris now the catcher for Mohawk Valley up next after Hart grounded out to short.
Nick, that's 3 straight outs for Van Valkenburg that have been just ground balls on the infield.
That's what Neglia likes to do, right? A little bit of an opposite approach right here from Van Valkenburg and Neglia. This one is once again hit to shortstop. Stallions back-to-back ground balls to short over to first. Van Valkenburg working very efficiently to start this one.
And 3 of the last 4 outs for Van Valkenburg have been grounders to short.
Kaminsky's been very busy these past 2 innings.
And he's been very clean over there. No errors.
After getting no action in the first 2. The next batter will be Ethan Hughes playing left. He had the fly ball out that you saw on the top of the fourth to get the Stallions back out on the field to play some defense. Hughes is 6'4", 205. He's from Plant City, Florida, where he played his college ball at Warner University. Takes ball 2, 2-0 now after 2 quick outs from Soris and Hart. Van Valkenburg ready. His pitch is fouled off. 2-1 now on Hughes.
And I think this is what Neglia was missing, just the aggressiveness that Van Valkenburg has. He's going after every single hitter, just right in the zone.
You saw that in his last outing, too. 3 innings, 1 run, no runs, but this one is lined to the gap. Haben Siefkin running after it, and it is off the wall. Ethan Hughes with a stand-up double with 2 outs here for Mohawk Valley. So all of a sudden, after 2 quick outs, Jace Van Valkenburg is going to have to work to get the third one.
from Lincoln University, Sean Stoney.
And that's a 2-for-2 night now for Hughes. And he did not have a single double this season in college. So already showing signs of brilliance here. Just 4 games into the season for Mohawk Valley.
Well, a guy who has a chance to knock him in right here is the number 9 hitter, Sean Stoney, playing second base. Neglia Caden back in the second. He's another local guy from Rosedale, New York. He went to college at Lincoln University. Van Valkenburg's 1-0 is in the dirt, ball 2. Definitely a guy you don't want to work around. You want to go after the number 9 hitter with the top of the order looming on deck.
And Van Valkenburg can't get it his head now just because one guy got a hit off him. He needs to keep pushing the zone.
Van Valkenburg's 2-0 is a fastball right down the middle. Strike 1 on the number 9 hitter, Stoney.
Just what I was telling you, Nick.
3-1, Hughes on second. Stallions over the Diamond Dogs. Van Valkenburg in his second inning of relief. 2-1 count, slide step to the plate, in the dirt, ball 3. So exactly what we were saying earlier, Dan. Behind 3-1 in the number 9 hitter with Joey Calabretti, who reached base and scored the Mohawk Valley's only run back in the first.
And Hughes had the first hit for this team since the bottom half of the second, where he led off the inning with a single.
Van Valkenburg's 3-1 is in there for strike 2. Definitely fooled him. He went breaking ball way out in front. Had the help of the appeal from the umpire. Full count now on Stoney. Van Valkenburg working his way back into the count. Getting a chance to get out of this one without any runs surrendered. This one is put in play to Kaminsky. Been very busy all 3 outs from the Seton Hall product. Kaminsky gets all 3, like I said, over to Painter. That will retire Stoney. So Van Valkenburg, in 2 innings of release, puts up 2 zeros. Top of the 5th, the Stallions come into bat with 3-4-5. Croce, Hobbin-Siefken, and Barbero when we come back. Welcome back to Saugerties Stallions versus the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. New pitcher for the Diamond Dogs, Ryan Callahan, 6'5", 195, just completed his junior season at St. Thomas Aquinas, where he only played 1 inning.
Yeah, really didn't have that much real live game experience, so he'll come in here in the top of the 5th, excuse me, just looking to get some innings under his belt, has a competitive arsenal. The fastball is what he relies on, but has some off-speed that fools hitters. So he's just trying to get as many reps as possible here in the PGCBL this summer.
Here in the top of the 5th, he will face 3-4-5 in the Stallions order. Nick Croce to start things off, playing third base today. Croce thus far is 1 for 2. He had a single back in the first and grounded to short back in the third. Stallions maintain a 3-1 lead after scoring 2 in the top of the 4th. Van Valkenburg followed that up with a 0, and Croce is very frustrated after taking a fastball to the hamstring. But the Stallions now back-to-back innings where they will have the leadoff runner on base to start the inning.
And this is the second hit by pitch in this game. The Mohawk Valley the pitchers have just been a little bit out of sort in this game. I'm trying to be attacking the zone, really getting inside on the Stallions hitters. And it has not resulted well for them so far.
Up next to the dish will be Travis Hobbin-Siefken. He is 0 for 2 today. 0 for 1 with a walk. He reached on an E6 back in the first and came around to score in the 4th after drawing that walk. Throw over to check on Croce is not in time. Going back to the pitcher Callahan, though, for a second, Dan, I'm sure if you're him, it's great to see some work after not playing at all pretty much during your college season.
Oh, without a doubt. And that's what a lot of these guys here in the PGCBL are doing. They're just getting as many reps as possible. But the Stallions have some of that more experienced talent on their team, a lot of guys who are in the portal looking for new homes and are showing off here in the summertime.
Speaking of experienced players, as he's ahead in the count 2-1, Travis Hobbin-Siefken played with the Stallions back in 2023, where he did play against Mohawk Valley 5 times. In those games, he hit .230, 3 for 13, and he had 5 strikeouts to go along with 2 ribbies. Callahan's 2-1 is inside, 3-1 on Hobbin-Siefken, with Croce on first. Another throw over to check on Croce. That one not in time again. Now 2 checks over at the runner on first. 3-1, your score. Stallions ahead. 3 hits to 2 as well. Mohawk Valley is the only error. That one was the shortstop. Hobbin-Siefken's fouls one back to the screen, so now the count is full. Callahan has worked his way back to a full count.
Definitely a place where they could put Croce in motion.
Callahan ready. Set at the belt. Croce is in motion. Siefken lines one into the gap. Hart on the run, finally fields it. Croce will stop at third. Siefken will stop at first. So a hit and run action right there for Saugerties puts runners on the corners for the second baseman, Danny Barbero.
And that's a perfectly executed hit and run right there by the Stallions. Just what you want, especially with no outs in the full count. Why not send him? That's the best thing that could have happened, and it sets up Barbero now
for a prime opportunity to get his first RBI with Saugerties, making his debut
That's
today.
His first hit.
Check on Siefken, not in time. Callahan coming on relief coming in out of the bullpen, greeted Siefken running at first. Throw goes down. Siefken is tagged out. Croce falls along third. The throw now in there, but Croce dives back safely. So almost disaster right there from the Stallions on the base paths.
And that's exactly what they wanted to do with runners at first and third. And once the throw went down, Croce just got a bad jump, stumbled on the third baseline. So it ends up being an unproductive out number one, and that's the risk you take with that play. It's worked well for the Stallions so far, but that time it comes back to bite them.
The Stallions have been running the bases so well, leading the Eastern Conference of the Perfect Game College Baseball League in stolen bases.
And Siefken had a stolen base in this game before that.
Callahan's 1-0 is fouled off by Barbero. The Albany native played his college ball at Butler this past season, where he hit .250. Hit 8 homers, drove in 30 runs. Had an on-base percentage of .345 as well. Count is even 1-1 with Croce on third after he was hit by a pitch from Callahan. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Callahan wides and fires. High fastball up in the zone, ball 2. Third baseman playing in right around the bag. That would be Hurd. Otherwise, all the infielders are back. They will concede the run down 3-1 here in the top of the 5th. Callahan's 2-1 is low in the dirt. Nice block there from Cerise to keep Croce at third.
And Croce is only coming home here if a ball's hit to the right side of the infield. Otherwise, you'll see him stick over at third and maybe test it if the throw's just slightly offline.
Ahead in the count, 3-1. Barbero swings, puts it in play. Fielded nicely by Callahan, throws over to first and keeps Croce at third. Got to be a frustrating at-bat right there for Barbero. Prime opportunity to get his first RBI of the summer and does not with a tapper back to the pitcher.
Just like we were talking about, Nick, Croce was looking to get down the line there. That one's grounded right back to the pitcher. Callahan does a nice job checking over at third and then makes the easy play at first to put 2 outs on the board.
So with 2 outs, another guy looking for his first hit this season with Saugerties. That would be Casey Kaminsky playing short. After being very busy in the bottom of the 4th, making all 3 outs from shortstop, he has a chance to give the Stallions a little bit of an insurance run, 4-1 with Croce on third, if he could put a ball in play past any infielder. Ahead in the count, 0-1, Callahan ready. Winds and fires to the plate, inside, ball 1. Stallions 4 hits, Mohawk Valley 2. Callahan's 1-1 is popped up by Kaminsky. Popped up right around the pitcher's mound. Here comes the third baseman, Hurd, calling everyone off. He makes a running play right over the pitcher's mound, and that will retire the Stallions. Saugerties up 3-1 going to the bottom of the 5th when we come back. Welcome back, folks. Bottom of the 5th inning. Stallions ahead 3-1. Van Valkenburg in for his 3rd inning of relief. Nick Zuppi alongside Dan Shalom. And let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Saugerties Stallions. Starting tomorrow, where they play the Glen Falls Dragons. On Sunday, they have a matchup with the Amsterdam Mohawks, followed by
Thursday in the middle with Boonville. It's an interesting stretch here for the Stallions. They go from away, now to home, away, home. They'll get 2 off days, the Friday and the Saturday in between, to give themselves some times off, and then reset with the first matchup of the season against Amsterdam on Sunday night, which will be a thriller at Cantine Field. Back-to-back Sunday night matchups at home for the Stallions to start the season.
Van Valkenburg's first pitch of the inning was a ball. This one put in play by the leadoff man Calabretti, fielded nicely by Croce, over to Painter to retire Calabretti. 1 out already here from Mohawk Valley.
You can't talk enough about how consistent Van Valkenburg is with just putting the ball in play. He's been so excellent at that so far in this game. Out of all the batters he's faced, he has 6 ground outs. 6 of 8 on the ground, letting his defense do the work. Just 1 hit given up, and that was a double last inning to Hughes.
Up now, Edwin Sanchez, the right fielder, number 28. Virginia native from Chantilly, Virginia, but played his college ball locally right around here in Siena. Takes ball 1 in the dirt from Van Valkenburg. It's an interesting day right here for Van Valkenburg, Dan. You described it a little bit. 6 groundouts already, but last outing he had 3 strikeouts in 3 innings.
It's funny how things change day to day. It's kind of like Marciano Neglia was pitching like Jace Van Valkenburg, and Jace Van Valkenburg is now pitching like Marciano Neglia.
Van Valkenburg's 2-1 is up in the zone. 3-1 now on Sanchez, the right fielder. Back in the first, he walked 1 of 2 back-to-back walks that Neglia surrendered to start the bottom of the inning. 3-1 pitch is outside ball 4, so Sanchez draws his 2nd walk of the game, and Mohawk Valley now has a base runner.
Now batting for your Dogs, the third baseman, number 27 from SUNY Albany, Justin.
If I'm Jace Van Valkenburg, I actually don't mind that with how much the ball's been on the ground in his outing so far. Perfect situation for a double play here.
And the man he's hoping that will hit into a double play is the third baseman, Justin Hurd. The Warwick native played his college ball at UAlbany. He lines this one to left. Coming in on it is Ford. It will bounce right in front of him. So back-to-back runners reach base for Mohawk Valley, and all of a sudden Van Valkenburg, a little bit of an unfriendly welcome here to start the bottom of the 5th.
From Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, Ian Olschlager.
Coming up next, the designated hitter, Ian Oschlager, who was walked in the first and hit a ground out to short back in the 3rd. Sanchez on 2nd after the walk. Hurd on 1st, who just hit the single. Oschlager takes strike 1 from Van Valkenburg.
Really not the guy you want to be facing in this situation. Was so effective this past season at RPI with that .429 batting average. It's just a matter of time until he gets one here tonight, really. But Van Valkenburg has the advantage on and up 2.
Oschlager had 23 extra base hits last season, 11 doubles, 3 triples, and 9 home runs. So if he gets his pitch, you might see it in the gap or even over the fence. Van Valkenburg's 0-2 is fouled back by Oschlager, so we'll do it again. Same count.
52 RBIs is a concerning number for Van Valkenburg, but you have him up 0-2. Don't throw him anything competitive here.
He's been so consistently firing the fastball in the zone. That's been the biggest thing for Van Valkenburg. Ahead 0-2. Ready, fires. And it is a swing and a miss from Oschlager, so a huge strikeout from Van Valkenburg on the Mohawk Valley cleanup hitter.
That one's big. 2 outs. You can go to any base on the infield now. Brandon Hawk as well. An 0-for-1 night grounded out over to second base in the 3rd. So if I'm Van Valkenburg, I'm feeling comfortable. He's faced this guy already here in this game.
Hawk had not played in the PGCBL prior to tonight. He's making a season opener for Mohawk Valley. 0-for-1 with a hit by pitch, like Dan said. Hits this one foul right behind the catcher, out of play for strike 1. Sanchez is on 2nd after he walked. On 1st is Justin Hurd after his single to left, dropped right in front of Justin Ford. Van Valkenburg ahead in the count, 0-1 with 2 outs in the inning. Hawk lines this one to center, and it falls right in front of Rodriguez. His throw to third is not in time. Sliding in there safely was Hurd, but Brandon Hauk adds another run to Mohawk Valley. 3-2 now. Stallions over the Diamond Dogs.
That was just a nice piece of hitting right there from Hawk. An RBI double, and now Diamond Dogs threatening to take the lead here with Hart at the plate.
Caden Hart, another guy who hasn't really seen much action recently. He's a rising freshman, just completed his senior year of high school. He's going to Virginia Tech next year to play baseball. 2 outs, second and third. Hart fouls this one back to the screen. Van Valkenburg ahead 0-1. Hurd on third, Hauk on second. That pitch is a ball, 1-1, now on Hart. Van Valkenburg, after 2 scoreless, he retired 7 of the first 8 hitters he faced. Has come into a little bit of a trouble inning here in the bottom of the 5th. Hart way behind on that one, way late on the fastball. 1-2 now, and Van Valkenburg has a chance to get out of this one with limited damage thus far.
Big pitch here. Need this one if you're Van Valkenburg.
Caden Hart had a pop out to third and grounded out to short today. He's 0 for 2. Fouls this one back to the screen for the second time this at bat, so we'll do it again. 1-2, 2 outs. At one of his showcases that he went to during his senior year of high school, Hart actually has an exit velocity of 115. Takes this one outside, ball 2, the break-in ball from Van Valkenburg. Last game against Glen Falls, Hart was hitless, 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts, but he did knock in an RBI. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on, and Hart goes fishing. Great block by Blanco, steps up, throws it over the painter to retire Mohawk Valley. But they do add a run. 3-2 now, Stallions over the Diamond Dogs. When we come back, top of the 6th, more baseball right here. Welcome back, folks. I'm Nick Zuppi alongside Dan Shalom. Top of the 6th for you between the Stallions and the Diamond Dogs. This one is put in play by Painter, fielded nicely by Stoney. Over to Hauk, and we have 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Back in the bottom of the 5th, an RBI double courtesy of Brendan Hauk, the first baseman, made it 3-2, but Van Valkenburg Cade Hart to end the inning and limit the damage to only 1 run. Up next for the Stallions is the catcher, Sam Blanco. 1 for 2 today. He had an RBI single back in the 4th. Takes this one outside. Ball 1 on the catcher. Callahan now in his 2nd inning out of the bullpen. Winds and fires. Blanco fouls one over the home plate. Backstop for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. 3-2. Stallions over the Diamond Dogs.
It's a tight game. These two teams ended the season with a 0 run differential between each other. They always play tight every time they meet up.
Callahan's 1-1 in the dirt, ball 2. Callahan's got a little bit of a funky delivery. It's not quite sidearm, but it's not quite over the top. It's like a 3/4 kind of tilt toward third base, if you will. There he is, throwing a fastball. Blanco not able to catch up to it. 2-2 now on the Stallion backstop.
And that can mess up a hitter as well, just because all of the pitchers so far in this game have been straight over the top. This is the first real change of angle.
2-2 pitch is up in the zone, ball 3. Full count now on Blanco with Cavazzoni on deck for the Stallions. Cavazzoni's the DH. Struck out to end the 2nd inning. Callahan's full count pitch is again fouled off behind the home plate backstop, so we'll do it again. Blanco hit .361 over at Dallas College Eastfield this past spring. Callahan's full count pitch is a ball. Blanco works the walk, and the Stallions have a runner on base here in the top of the 6th inning for the number 9 hitter, Gabe Cavazzoni.
4 straight innings now where the Stallions have had the leadoff runner on. Produced last inning by plating, in the 4th by plating the 2, but since then really haven't had much offensively.
Cavazzoni struck out back in the 2nd and hit a fielder's choice in the 4th. Takes ball 1 from Callahan. Action in the Mohawk Valley bullpen. There's a lefty throwing over there. Wonder how long of a leash Callahan has in his 2nd inning of work out of that very bullpen. Blanco takes his lead at first. The pitch to Cavazzoni is up in the zone, ball 2.
Mohawk Valley has already thrown 3 pitchers, Callahan being the 4th. So they're tearing through that bullpen, and we're only in the top half of the 6th.
Pichilli was only able to get 1 out as Callahan checks on Blanco over there at first. A guy who had just recovered from labrum surgery, missed the past 2 college seasons, injured again here tonight.
He was pulling at that right shoulder as he left. You got a feel for him.
2-0 pitch to Cavazzoni is a strike. Cavazzoni late on the 4-seamer from Callahan.
Big cut and a miss right there.
Still ahead in the count, 2-1 with 1 out and Blanco on first. The Seton Hall product DHing today after playing second base 2 nights ago against the Outlaws is late on the fastball once more. 2-2 now. Cavazzoni, one of 4 Seton Hall players on the Stallions roster, alongside Justin Ford, Casey Kaminsky, and Steven Svensson, who started 2 nights ago against the Outlaws. Cavazzoni flies one to center field. Easy play for Hart. He's under it, makes the grab. Cavazzoni is retired. 2 outs now in the top of the order, coming around for the Stallions.
Stallions really need to be more effective about driving home these runs. They've had 7 walks already in this game, but they only have 3 runs to show for it.
Luis Rodriguez is the leadoff hitter for Saugerties.
Talk about a guy who has the walks. He's got 3 on the evening, 1 being a hit by pitch.
He did come around to score 2 in the first. Rodriguez, a do-it-all guy for the Stallions. He hits leadoff, like you said, Dan. He reaches base, but he has plenty of power in the box. He went deep back in his freshman season in the MAC Conference Tournament Championship that was played at Rockland Boulder Stadium. Callahan ahead 0-1 on the center fielder for Saugerties. Gets behind the catcher Soris, and Blanco will reach second, putting a runner in scoring position with 2 outs in the top of the 6th for Saugerties.
Rodriguez, a guy who's in the transfer portal looking for a new home next season in Pac-Hub, so is available to be contacted after a stellar season at Marist where he batted .305.
He also drove in 27 runs, so very capable run producer from the top of the lineup for Saugerties. Count is even, 1-1, 2 outs. Blanca reached base way of a walk 2 batters ago. Callahan winds and fires. Rodriguez pops one up. In chase is hurt. He is diving but does not make the play. 1-2 now, just a long strike. Rodriguez will pick up the club and still be in the batter's box.
Gets an extra life. Hawk almost had it, was chasing on that first base side. Just simply didn't have enough speed to get there. Fell right in front of him.
Rodriguez late on back-to-back fastballs. A little bit of a jam shot that did happen to land foul, thankfully for Saugerties. 1-2 now behind in the count. 2 outs. Callahan has a chance to get out of here to put up a 0 after they only cut the lead in half. 3-2 in the bottom of the 5th. Callahan set right around his ear. Winds and fires. Rodriguez lines this one to right field. Right at the right fielder, Sanchez. He will make the play to retire the Stallions. Luis Rodriguez flies out to right. Saugerties ahead 3-2. Mohawk Valley coming to bat in the bottom of the 6th when we come back. Welcome back to the bottom of the 6th inning between the Saugerties Stallions and the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. 3-2 is your score. 4 hits for Saugerties, 4 hits for the Diamond Dogs. Bottom of the 6th. New pitcher for the Stallions, Cody Pacheco. Number 44 for Saugerties. He will face the number 7 hitter in the lineup, Nico Cerise, the catcher, number 5. First pitch of the inning is a fastball way behind it. Is Cerise. Strike 1 to start the bottom of the 6th.
Van Valkenburg with a great outing, 3 innings strong, just 1 earned run for him, was putting the ball in play constantly.
Back-to-back outings now from Van Valkenburg, 3 innings of 1 run. Strong start to the season thus far for the Saugerties native. Ahead in the count, 0-2. Fastball just misses the outside corner on Cerise. Count 1-2 now. Winds and fires to the Mohawk Valley backstop. Fastball way out of the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes to start the bottom of the 6th. Saugerties had a runner on second last inning. Sam Blanco reached second. Rodriguez flied to right to end it. 2-2's your count. Cerise steps out. 2-2 pitch is a fastball up high. 3-2 now on Cerise. The catcher from Mohawk Valley is 0 for 2, a strikeout back in the first that ended the first after bases were loaded, and a 6-3 ground out in the 4th. Flies this one high to center. The second baseman Barbero is camped underneath it, and the first out of the inning for Montreal Christian Jr., the new pitcher for Saugerties. 6'3", 259, just completed his freshman season at Georgia State University.
He didn't play down there either, so this is his first time seeing some real live game action in a long time. Going to be interesting to see how he fares.
Up next for Mohawk Valley is the left fielder Ethan Hughes, who had an excellent game thus far. He's 2 for 2. Takes a fastball in the inside corner for that strike one. Christian gets ahead on the left fielder, batting 8th today for Mohawk Valley. Christian, a big guy, 6'3", 259, really has that big windup that he uses to his benefit right there, dropping the breaking ball, completely fooling Hughes, way ahead now, 0-2.
And all of that frame gives him so much power, especially with the fastball, which you're going to see probably right here in this count.
0-2, fastball, good call, Dan, just misses the outside corner. 1-2 now on Hughes. Back in the second inning, Hughes started the inning with a single and then stole second. And Neglia was able to work his way out of that. Here's Christian's 1-2, is a swing and a miss from Hughes. The Diamond Dog left fielder finally retired, was 2 for 2. Christian picks up his first strikeout for the Stallions this summer. 2 quick outs out of the pen for Montreal Christian Jr.
Couldn't ask for a better start. He's retired 2 straight batters. And for the Stallions now, they've had 3 of the last 5 Mohawk Valley Diamond Dog batters go down on strikes.
Here's the number 9 hitter, Sean Stoney, the second baseman today. Number 7. In this one, he's 0 for 2. He struck out back in the second after Hughes singled, and he hit a ground out to short to end the 4th. Christian behind in the count, 1-0. Fastball on the inside corner for strike 1. Count back to even with 2 outs. Saugerties 4 hits. Mohawk Valley 4 hits. Saugerties 0 errors. Mohawk Valley 1 error. That one charged to the shortstop, Joey Calabretti. This one is lined into the right field side for a base hit. So the number 9 hitter, Sean Stoney, keeps the action alive for the top of the order coming up. Joey Calabretti, shortstop.
Calabretti 0 for 2 today with a walk, and he is from Seton Hall, and a lot of these guys out on the Stallions diamond, Seton Hall guys themselves. Maybe they should be rebranded to the Saugerties Pirates once it's all said and done, given how many Seton Hall guys are on this team, but they've all been spectacular so far for this squad.
Stoney on base after the single. Calabretti fouls this one back behind the backstop of home plate. Behind in the count, 0-1. 2 outs here. Christian retired Cerise with a pop out to second, and then an Ethan Hughes strikeout for the 2 outs here in this inning. Bottom of the 6th, Stallions 3-2 over the Diamond Dogs. Stoney steals second, ball fouled off by Calabretti. He was really dancing off first base right there. Christian had no idea that he was even moving.
Yeah, it was a massive lead there over at first base for Stoney, and I could even tell just watching him, he got a secondary lead before the ball was even pitched.
Calabretti did not put a good swing on it, though. He had the huge hole with Stoney running down in the count 0-2, 2 outs. Montrell Christian Jr. from Georgia State University. Ahead in the count 0-2. Stoney dancing off first again. Christian steps off to check on him. Mohawk Valley now out hitting Saugerties with that Stoney single 5-4 despite being down 3-2. Christian checks on Stoney once again. You must be thinking the second baseman for Mohawk Valley is definitely in the mind of Christian on the mound.
Without a doubt, and how could he not be? Stoney's making a lot of noise over there at first base, but there's 2 outs. It's an 0-2 count. Last thing you have to worry about here is the runner.
Calabretti in the box. Christian's throw over is not in time. Stoney was dancing. He was leaning one way, but the throw was a little bit high to get the runner at first.
Yeah, and if that throw was just a little bit lower, I think you might have had a shot there at Stoney.
Back-to-back pickoff attempts without a pitch in between. 0-2 still your count. 2 outs in the inning. On the leadoff man, Joey Calabretti, playing short, made an error back in the first. Christian's 0-2 is a fastball. Not Joey Calabretti swings and misses to retire the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. So we've played 6. Saugerties up 3-2, coming to bat in the top of the 7th with Dan Shalom on play-by-play.
Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Park. Dan Shalom with you alongside Nick Zuppi. Top half of the 7th. Stallions coming to bat. New pitcher on the mound for the Diamond Dogs is Brendan Miller. Miller, the lefty, standing at 6'3", out of San Diego, California. Plays his college ball at Fairfield. First batter he's going to face here in the top of the 7th is Justin Ford. Pumps the gas in there for strike 1. Miller is a little bit interesting. He posted a 1.41 ERA in high school, but then this past season at Fairfield, a 12.63 earned run average in 18 appearances, so still adjusting to the college level, but definitely a guy that the Diamond Dogs can develop this summer. He's got Ford in a 1-1 count.
Certainly pumping the zone with fastballs fresh out of the bullpen. Arm must be loose and ready to go.
Ford smacks this one over to third. Hurd can't come up with it. It goes down the left field line for a single. And the Stallions are in business here in the top half of the 7th.
Now in for the Stallions, the third baseman, number 8 from Chipola College, Nick Croce.
Croce next to the ditch. Croce today, 1 for 2, has an RBI single and was hit by the pitch in the 5th. Fouls that one back for strike 1. Could see Ford move over there at first, but just to go back over to the pitcher on the mound right now for the Diamond Dogs, Brendan Miller. Only started one game, so it was primarily a reliever. 20 2/3 innings pitched for him and gave up 30 runs. So gave up more runs than innings pitched this year. Definitely something he wants to get down and has a little bit of trouble on his hands with Ford over at first here in the top of the 7th. Misses outside. It's 2-1. Callahan was fantastic for the Diamond Dogs, who was just on the mound. 2 innings pitched for him, giving up no runs and just 2 hits. Croce hits this one right over to first. Hawk grabs it, steps on the bag, an unfortunate, unassisted double play, and there's 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
Croce really did put a great swing on that one. The line drive, but right at the first baseman. Double play, not what the Stallions wanted right there.
Haben Siefkin will be next. Haben Siefkin, 1 for 1 today, a walk and reached on an E6. First pitch misses outside for ball 1. Just another unfortunate instance. Stallions have got doubled up twice in this game. The other one happening in the top half of the 3rd, where Luis Rodriguez stole second. Justin Ford grounded straight to second base, and then there was an easy 6-3 double play. That one, Croce put good wood on it, was a little bit late, but just lined it at the first baseman. Hawk and Ford couldn't get back to the bag in time. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. That one misses high for ball 3. Miller a long ways from home, hailing from San Diego. Went to Torrey Pines High School. Finds the zone right there for strike 1. The pitch. Misses for ball 4. So Haben Siefkin works himself a walk. That's his 2nd of the evening. And the Stallions have a 2-out base runner. Nick, you go back to the double play that Croce hit into, and you think about the fact that the bases could probably be loaded right now, Stallions.
I think even better than that, Croce's ball would have headed right down the right field line, probably would have been extra bases. Ford might have scored from first on that hit.
This one's looped on in the infield. Barbaro's going to get a little bloop single right here off the end of the bat. Going over to third is Haben Siefkin. The Stallions get lucky, a little bit of a makeup from the Croce line out, and there's now runners at the corners with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
Sometimes it's not how hard you hit it, right? You just got to find grass and get yourself a knock.
And for Barbaro, his first hit as a Stallion. Casey Comiskey, the shortstop, will be next. Stallions looking for a little bit of breathing room, only leading by 1 here in the 7th. That one misses inside for ball 1. This being the Stallions' first true test this season. The first 2 games they played were against Oneonta and Glens Falls, who are both now 0-2 in the league and are tied for last. Mohawk Valley sitting at 1-2 coming into this game, coming off a 3-0 win against Glens Falls the other night. The upper echelon of teams in this league is really going to be Amsterdam, Saugerties, and Utica this season. Mohawk Valley starting 1-2 for a 4th consecutive season. That one misses outside for ball 2. Two-one pitch. Hit right over to third. Hurd's got it, throws to second for the force. And the Stallions leave 2 runners stranded here in the top half of the 7th. It's time to stretch here at Veterans Memorial Park. When we come back, Mohawk Valley coming to the plate. Welcome back to Mohawk Valley. Dan Shalom with you alongside Nick Zuppi. Stallions leading the Diamond Dogs 3-2 here in the bottom of the 7th. Montrell Christian Jr. deals a first pitch ball in his second inning of work. Edwin Sanchez, the right fielder, at the dish for Mohawk Valley. Sanchez tonight 0 for 1, 2 walks on his ledger. Did come around to score in the 5th inning, which has this ball game at 3-2. Christian misses at the top of the zone. First appearance for him this season, and first appearance really in college ball, as he didn't appear this past season with Georgia Southern. Struggling to locate the fastball, he issues a 4-pitch walk here to Sanchez to start things off in the bottom of the 7th.
We talked about it last inning. Big frame on Christian. 6'3", 259. Really uses his power to get outs. That power fastball just a little too high right now out of the zone.
Justin Hurd, the third baseman, will be next. Hurd had his first base hit of the season in the bottom half of the 5th, but would get stranded on the base pass over at second base to end the inning. Lays down the bunt here. Christian fields it clean, throws to first for the easy out in time, and there's one down here in the bottom of the 7th.
We saw him square around the bunt back in the first inning when there was runners on first and second, nobody out. Now, with a runner on first and nobody out, he does successfully square and get the bunt down to put Sanchez in scoring position.
And this is going to make sense here because you have a guy like Olschlanger at the dish, who's batted .429, was the Liberty League Rookie of the Year, 52 RBIs. Ball to the outfield could tie this game at 3. So a very strategic move by the Diamond Dogs here in the bottom of the 7th. Christian comes set. Now deals. Misses down low. That one gets past Blanco at home. Moving up 90 feet is Hurd. And now all you need is a ball in the air to the outfield, and this game will be 3-3.
Stallions are bringing the infield in, though. Try to cut off that tying run at the plate if it's on the ground.
And that one bounced back pretty hard off the backstop, but there's just so much room back there, probably around 20 or so feet, that anything that goes past Blanco at home plate will result in a stolen base. 2-0. Another miss by Christian. He's struggling to locate.
7 straight balls to start this inning.
And there's nobody warming right now in the Stallions bullpen. There's a strike. 3-1 count. Diamond Dogs looking to tie up this game. Things haven't been tied since the first inning when it was 1-1. A miss down low. A 5-pitch walk issued to Olschlager. And it'll bring up Brandon Hawk, who had an RBI double in the bottom of the 5th to make this game 3-2. Has another chance here to make an impact and tie up this game.
That looked like an intentional walk right there to me. Set up the double play if he puts one on the ground, get the Stallions out of this one and back in the dugout.
And you'll see a mound visit here for the Stallions, and it makes sense as now an arm is warming in that pen for Saugerties. Going to be interesting to see how they play this. If they go in the double play defense, you would expect a steal will be coming from Olschlager to just add more pressure. A ball in the air to the outfield or on the ground will make this game 3-3. Stallions still have not trailed this season.
This is the type of game that you would expect, though, from these two teams, right? We talked about it pregame. The run differential last season during the regular season was 0. They tied one, and both teams won by a run. And then in the playoff game between these two teams, Saugerties came out with the win, 5-4. So this 3-2 game in the bottom of the 7th, pressure opportunity is exactly what we were expecting in this one.
First pitch from Christian after the mound visit is a strike, and it's surprising, too, that the Stallions don't have more runs on the board. Mohawk Valley in their first 2 games here at home have led up at least 10 runs, that being to Utica and Amsterdam. Runners at the corners. Here's the 0-1. Just misses at the top of the zone. Hawk, just the guy that the Diamond Dogs won up in this situation. They'll give a check over at first to Olschlager, not going anywhere. Stallions in the double play defense, hoping for a ground ball. One. A nice block there by Blanco. Holds the runner at third.
Great block by Blanco.
He has to be locked in right now because if the ball gets past him, not only will a run score, but then Olschlager will move up to second, and the Stallions are still in just as much trouble.
With that big backstop, he might even get to third if it takes a wrong bounce for Saugerties.
This one's poked over to the right side. It will drop foul. And now Christian 1 pitch away from getting a pivotal second out. This one's thrown away on the pickoff over at first for Olschlager. A run will come home to score. And that is just ugly by the Stallions.
Christian did a great job of working his way back into the count, down behind in the count 2-0, worked his way back to 2-2, and then just shoots himself in the foot with the errant pickoff play at first.
That'll be an E1 going on Christian. And now the Stallions have to limit another run from coming home. Olschlager is at second. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Hawk stays alive. And Nick, I'll be honest with you there. I didn't even see a reason in picking over to first. Olschlager made it clear that he wasn't going to second. That just seems like an unnecessary throw there.
Last inning, we saw Stoney kind of bouncing off, right, from first base, really getting ahead of Christian. I wonder if that had a lingering effect at all on Olschlager at first.
2-2 is hit out into center field. Rodriguez there to make the play. Sticking at second is Olschlager, and there's 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th.
Big out for Christian.
Caden Hart, the center fielder, is next. The rising freshman headed to Virginia Tech in the fall. 0 for 3 tonight, but another place here where a base hit could give Mohawk Valley the lead. They've had these opportunities so far in this game, haven't really converted. In there for strike 1.
All 3 times in this one, Hart has been up at the dish with runners in scoring position, unable to capitalize on the opportunity. Once more, Olschlager is out on second base and a prime run-producing spot for Mohawk Valley.
And if Mohawk Valley is to go on and lose this game, that's definitely something that Hart will be thinking about. He finds himself in an 0-2 hole.
It could be his first RBI, but it could also be his first hit this summer in the PGCBL for Hart.
A lot on the line here. Christian sets, deals, goes with the heater, and gets the K. A big strikeout for Montrell Christian Jr. He limits the damage. It's a 3-3 ball game as we head to the 8th. Top half of the 8th here in Mohawk Valley. Nick, this by far and away the closest the game has been for the Stallions this late all season long.
Oh, no doubt about it. 12-2, couple days ago against Glen Falls, the Stallions scored 7 runs in the first 4 innings. Even 2 days ago against the Outlaws, 2-1 until the 5th inning, but Saugerties just opened the floodgates, scoring 9 runs in the final 2 innings.
And they need one of those electric innings right here, right now. They have their 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up, so maybe the bottom of the lineup can provide a spark. In the 7th and 8th in the game against Oneonta, Saugerties would plate 4 runs in each after just leading 2-1 up to that point. So they know how to rally late on and are going to need it here in a heated battle at Veterans Memorial Park. These two teams did tie each other last year in this ballpark, that being 2-2 in the first game of the doubleheader. If both teams are tied after 9 innings, it will go down as a tie. One of the unique things about the PGCBL in a summer league is that there can be ties in these regular season games. Postseason, obviously, not the case. Painter in the box for the Stallions, ahead early 2-0. 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. That one misses inside. 3-0. Stallions looking to get that leadoff runner on.
2 games ago against the Oneonta Outlaws, we saw lefty Zach Rowe face Painter, and Painter really struggled. In those 2 at-bats, he struck out twice.
In there for a strike, and Painter from Wofford, playing primarily first base down there, but really didn't see that much experience. Looking for a new home for next year. This one's fouled off the catcher, and the count's full.
Miller using the fastball to work his way back in the count after being behind 3-0, finds himself in a full count with the lefty swinging Painter.
And Painter was ahead 3-0 before. This one misses upstairs, so Painter works the walk. Doesn't go down like the other day versus the lefty Zach Rowe from Oneonta, and the Stallions have a leadoff runner on here in the top half of the 8th.
Already 3 games in for the Stallions. Painter has 6 walks, even though he doesn't have a hit. You're seeing he's finding ways to get on base and generate runs for the people behind him.
Back-to-back innings for Saugerties where the leadoff runner is reached. They'll give a quick check over to Painter. He's in there safely. 1-0 count. Blanco tonight has the RBI single and a walk. Painter will go over to second. The bunt is laid down the third baseline. Fielding it cleanly is Hurd. He will get over there. A weird play over at first with Blanco sliding in, but it prevents Hawk from making a throw over to third base, and now the Stallions just need a ball to the outfield to take the lead. Heads up base running there by Jack Painter.
He saw the empty base at third, right? The third baseman had to come in, field the bunt, get the out at first, but nobody was occupying the base. The pitcher was unsure if he had to go fielder or what to do, so he wasn't able to cover third base.
And now the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs head coach comes from out of the bullpen. He is not happy with the slide that Blanco made over at first base, which prevented Hawk from throwing to third, and the umpires are going to chat about this.
You normally don't see a feet-first slide into first base. You normally don't see a slide at all, for that matter.
We'll see what the umpires rule here. Seems like everything is going to stay the same, but the Mohawk Valley manager still talking to the home plate umpire. So everything will stay the same. Stallions have a runner at third. Mohawk Valley is going to bring the infield in, trying to prevent anything from coming home here on a ground ball. Gabe Cavazzoni is the one tasked with bringing the run home for Saugerties today. He is 0 for 2, but does have an RBI fielder's choice, that being in the 4th inning. Takes upstairs for ball 1.
Cavazzoni seeking his first hit of the summer with the Stallions. Like Hart, two guys in back-to-back scenarios we're seeing hitless this season with a runner in scoring position.
Takes a big cut and a miss. It's 1-2. Luis Rodriguez sitting on deck for Saugerties, the leadoff man. But Stallions hoping that Cavazzoni can get the knock here, at least put a ball to the outfield. That one just misses on the outside corner. The Mohawk Valley dugout wanting that one to go their way, and the count's 2-2.
The Diamond Dogs do bring the infield in here, so a ground ball hard on the ground, if it can find a hole, will score a run.
Cavazzoni with a good eye there, and the count goes full. From 1-2 to 3-2, Cavazzoni has battled in this at-bat, looking to put something in play. The pitch, fouled straight back. Just got a little bit under that one, and we'll do it again.
7 pitches thus far from Miller in the AB with Cavazzoni, 6 fastballs.
Miller deals. Cavazzoni swings and misses. A big strikeout for Miller, and there's 2 down here in the 8th.
Now batting for the Stallions, the center fielder, number 28.
First strikeout for Miller of his outing, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Luis Rodriguez steps into the box now. He was looking to lay down the bunt, and for a guy with his speed, a suicide squeeze is not the craziest thing to throw out there.
Especially with third baseman Hurd playing way back. The speedy batter in the box can use that speed, like you were saying, to his advantage and get an RBI out of it.
Rodriguez just bloops this one over the first baseman's head, but it's foul. Nearly had an RBI single right there and would have given the Stallions the lead. Rodriguez in this game, 3 walks, one of those being a hit by pitch, lined out to right field in his last at-bat, that being in the top of the 6th. Very disciplined eye at the plate. You know he's going to work this count.
When he lined out to right, Blanco was also in second base, so back-to-back ABs with a runner in scoring position for the Saugerties leadoff man.
He chases that one outside. The count's 1-2, and now Mohawk Valley is 1 strike away from stranding Painter at third after he was over there with just 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Miller sets. Now deals. This one's lined out into right field. Sanchez is there, and the Diamond Dogs get out of the jam and put up a 0 here in the top half of the 8th. We head to the half, still tied 3-3 here from Veterans Memorial Park. Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Park. Dan Chalm with you alongside Nick Zuppi here from the Pack Hub broadcast booth. New arm on the mound for the Saugerties Stallions is Virgil Heath, the Georgia State product of Lawrenceville, GA. So the Stallions will go Georgia State pitcher to Georgia State pitcher here in the bottom half of the eighth. Montrell Christian Jr. leaving with a final line of 2 innings pitched, a hit, 1 run unearned, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Does leave with that E1, which gave the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs the run to tie up this game at 3.
Another big frame, though. 6'2", 196. You see he's got a wide, almost like a kind of chaotic motion. You're going to see him wind that right arm up and about.
Facing Nico Soros, the catcher. 1-1 count. This one smacked up the middle, goes off second base. Barbero makes a play on it and gets the out. A lucky bounce there for the Stallions, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th.
What a bounce. I don't think a baseball hitting a base was on my bingo card tonight.
That one a big help for the Stallions, prevents Mohawk Valley from having a leadoff runner here in the bottom of the 8th. Ethan Pugh's next. He's been the most dangerous hitter in this Mohawk Valley lineup tonight, 2 for 3 with a double and a single. Struck out swinging in his last at-bat, that being in the bottom of the 6th. That one skims Pugh's on the top of the helmet. Will be a hit by pitch. Just to give a little bit more context on Heath, this season played in 5 games, 4.1 innings pitched, couple of strikeouts, and this is a guy really that's looking to get some more reps, a rising sophomore in high school, was a 2024 preseason All-American in the Southeast region, so he's a guy with plenty of potential, just hasn't had a lot of in-game reps to show it just yet. First one misses high and away. Sean Stoney, the second baseman, at the dish here for the Diamond Dogs.
He had a single through the right side of the infield his last time at the dish.
And the Stallions right now really have to be grateful that that ball bounced off second base. It could be very easily first and second with nobody out.
That ball certainly was headed up the middle, and there was no Stallions player to stop it.
Heath deals. That one's fouled straight back, and he's ahead on Stoney 1-2. We've seen Heath show it off. That fastball's got some mustard on it. Pretty sure he goes back to it here in a 1-2.
Him and Christian really both used the fastball pretty effectively. I wonder if Georgia State coaches really like guys, big guys who really are power pitchers who just use their fastball to their advantage.
Here's the pitch. Misses upstairs with that fastball. It's 2-2. Double play would get the Stallions out of this inning. If nobody scores here in the last inning and a half, this game will end in a tie. 2-2. Fouled off to the right side, and Stoney stays alive. Runner at first is Pugh's. Stoney at the dish. The pitch. Strike 3, got him at the top of the zone. A big strikeout for Heath, and there's 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th.
After all fastballs, he finally went breaking ball, and Stoney was just frozen, had no chance at that one.
And that's something that Heath is going to consistently use throughout that season. That fastball is just so quick that when he switches to the off-speed, batters don't know what to do. Leadoff hitter Joey Calabretti at the dish. Takes a first pitch ball. Calabretti tonight 0 for 3 with a walk. Came around to score in the first inning, which was the Diamond Dogs' first run of this ball game, after getting on on a base on balls. That one's fouled to the backstop. It's 1-1.
I think if you're the offense for both teams, you're really shooting yourself in the foot because specifically for Mohawk Valley, since they're in the bottom of the first, Neglia just walked everybody, it seemed like.
Strike at the top of the zone. It's 1-2. Heath a strike away from getting out of this bottom of the 8th. Think he goes fastball here, Nick?
I would say so.
Righty on righty. 1-2 count. Runner at first. Here's the pitch. Popped up in foul territory on the right side. Painter drifts towards it, makes the play. And Heath, in his first inning as a Stallion, puts up a 0. We head to the 9th. Still tied at 3 here in Mohawk Valley. Tied at 3 here in Mohawk Valley. Dan Shalom with you alongside Nick Zuppi in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. Stallions have 2-3-4 coming to bat in this top half of the 9th. But first we have to go to our sideline reporter, Hannah Tampasis. Hannah, hearing things that are getting a little bit chippy down there on the sideline right now, what are you hearing?
Yes, absolutely. Like I had the interview with Colin Martin talking about how last year's games got very heated as games were very close. Any mistake any pitcher makes, any player makes, the dugout is very mouthy as they're really trying to get into our players' heads. Hopefully the Stallions don't let it get into their heads and they can make some runs and get back right on top.
Well, Colin Martin would know that firsthand. He got ejected at this ballpark in that doubleheader here last year. That was the only time he got ejected all season. But even when the Diamond Dogs came to play the Stallions at Cantine Field, there was a lot of chirps going on. Just the intensity between these two squads seems like a lot. Anything in particular that you heard from any of the Stallions players about this game? Tied 3-3, things getting intense down the stretch?
Nothing from the Stallions players necessarily. It's just been very quiet, because like I said, their dugout's very mouthy. No one wants to have any ejections like last game or anything. I mean, both teams are just very passionate about the sport. I mean, what can I say? Things get heated during sports games.
Stallions left fielder Justin Ford grounds out to start this top half of the 9th. And Hannah, the Diamond Dogs will travel to play Saugerties in July. It'll be interesting to see kind of what happens to them on the road here at Veterans Memorial Park. Stallions have had trouble succeeding, but they still got a shot here. 2 outs on the board, or 2 outs left to work with here in the top of the 9th. Croce at the dish for the Stallions. That one's in there for strike one, a 1-1 count. And, Nick, it's ironic that the Stallions only finished with 1 tie on the entire season last year, and that tie was here. And it's seeming like right now, unless they score in this top half of the 9th, and for their sake hopefully put up a 0 in the bottom half of the 9th, that it will be a tie once again here tonight.
I don't know about that. Saugerties has the number 3 hitter up, Nick Croce, like you said in the beginning of his AB. So if there's a time to put up offense, you got the guys up in the order to do so. 3, 4, 5 after Ford grounded out right here.
2-2 pitch. Croce rockets this one to left field. Going back on it is Hughes. He makes the running catch for out number 2.
Ethan Hughes really having himself a great game. Robs Croce of a double right there. He has 2 hits and RBI. All around great game from the Mohawk Valley left fielder.
If there's someone that can hit the ball a long ways, it's Travis Hobbin-Siefkin in this lineup. The 6'4", over 220 frame is just hard to deal with as a defense for Mohawk Valley. Definitely a guy the Stallions want up right now. Not trying to play the hero, obviously, but we've seen it this season. When he makes contact with the ball, the exit velo is very fast.
Yes, but you mentioned his big frame. He also has 2 steals thus far in the first 3 games, so he's not one of these guys where it's just power or bust, right? He uses his speed to his advantage, maybe turning his doubles into triples and triples to maybe even inside the park home runs.
And he's got a great eye, too. Up already 2-0 in this count. Brendan Miller still out there for the Diamond Dogs. They're going to let him finish this one out. This one's chopped foul. 2-1. After this game, the Stallions will host the Glens Falls Dragons tomorrow night. That is 7:05 start. We have the pregame for you at 6:05. And after that, a trip up to Boonville on Thursday night. All those games right here on the Stallions YouTube network. That one's a strike at the bottom of the zone. 2-2 count here with 2 outs in the top half of the 9th. Miller comes set. Here's the pitch. Misses high and away, and it seems like Sorais is in some pain after that one. And Nick, from what I'm seeing, his finger pops out of the glove, and it seems like he didn't catch that one clean. It just caught him on the top of the hand.
Yeah, you saw him jump up to try to catch it. He did almost like a 180 to try and catch it, and obviously his hand just came shooting out of his glove. Seems to be okay, though, already in his squat behind the dish.
Full count, 2 outs here in the top half of the 9th. If Hobbin-Siefkin is to reach base, Danny Barbero is on deck for the Stallions. The pitch. Fouled off to the right side, and we'll do it again. Mohawk Valley dugout getting loud. They want to see Brendan Miller, Travis Hobbin-Siefkin. Here's the pitch. They got him. Miller gives the Diamond Dogs a chance to walk it off in the bottom half of the 9th. We're tied at 3 here in Mohawk Valley. Bottom of the 9th, Nick, you usually don't see this in baseball, but the best case scenario here for the Stallions is a tie.
Just seems unusual, right? Ties in sports, they just don't mesh, in my opinion. Like, someone's got to win, someone's got to lose, no, Dan?
Not in the PGCBL. Stallions need 3 outs, and it's been interesting to kind of see this offense for them go dormant. They put up a 0 in every inning since the 5th, and in that time, except for last inning, stranded 7 batters in total. So that's been a problem, that being between the 4th inning and the 8th, so they've had the opportunities, just haven't converted.
3 of those 7 also stranded in scoring position. So you mentioned the opportunities. Runners in scoring position, you have to take advantage of those opportunities to win a game like this.
Winning run is at the plate for the Diamond Dogs, that being Edwin Sanchez, the right fielder. Virgil Heath is out there to try and get the final 3 outs of this game and make this one a tie. Diamond Dogs have 2-3-4, just what they want here in the bottom of the 9th.
There is action in the Saugerties bullpen. It looks like Charles Batista, 6'4" right-hander, wearing jersey number 32.
That one misses on the outside part of the zone. An ideal start for Sanchez in this at-bat here in the bottom of the 9th. It's 2-0. Heath struggling to locate. 3-0 count.
White Christian in his second inning now, you're starting to see him work behind hitters after filling the zone with strikes behind on Sanchez, 3-0. And
bounces that one in front of the plate. It's a 4-pitch walk to start the bottom of the 9th. And it brings up Justin Hurd. Hurd in this game, 1 for 3. Sac bunt in the 7th. That moved the tying run, which was Sanchez, across to second, and then he would eventually score on the E1 by Montrell Christian Jr. Going over to second is Sanchez. This one's bunted in the air. Fielded cleanly. Throw to first is in time. So back-to-back sac bunts for Hurd. And there's 1 out as the Diamond Dogs head coach over there at third base was very upset that Sanchez took off on that play. He was stealing before the bunt was put down. The ball was put in the air. Could have been doubled up there.
And then 2 outs with the cleanup hitter on deck instead of a runner in scoring position with him at the dish, Oschlager.
Oschlager, the perfect person the Diamond Dogs want up in this situation. He's a clutch hitter, 52 RBIs, 429 average. Was named his league's Rookie of the Year. A ball to the outfield could do it here at Veterans Memorial Park and hand the Stallions their first loss of the season. Heath deals. That one's fouled back, and he's up 0-2. It's a big strike here in this ballgame.
But he's also way ahead 0-2, so a waste pitch right here would not be the worst thing. As long as Blanco can block it because of the big backstop, Sanchez might be able to take third on a pass ball.
Heath comes set at the belt. Gives a check, now tosses. This one hit over to third, fielded cleanly by Croce. He'll give a check at second. In time, just what the doctor ordered for the Stallions. There's 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th.
Croce did a really nice job right there of shifting his feet toward second base to freeze Sanchez and then shifting his feet back to first to retire Oschlager.
So the Diamond Dogs have one more shot. Brandon Hawk does have an RBI double in this game. That came in the bottom of the 5th, which made it 3-2 at the time. An RBI double here would get the job done for the Diamond Dogs. Heath deals. Misses upstairs for ball 1. A 3-3 game here at Veterans Memorial Park. Stallions looking to come away with the tie. This one's hit into center field. Rodriguez is under it. And that will do it. We'll be right back here on the Stallions YouTube network. Don't go anywhere. We have more baseball here from Mohawk Valley. A change in the PGCBL rules. Runner starts at second, 1 inning, Nick. And then if we are tied after 10, the game is over. But a big inning there for Heath to get out of trouble, push this one, and give the Stallions a shot. Haben Siefken will be the runner at second for Saugerties.
A really fast runner at that. Haben Siefken has stolen base in 2 of the last 3 games to start the season for Saugerties. So if you are the Stallions, I wonder if a bunt for Barbero is in play right here to get Haben Siefken to third, because then a pass ball with this huge backstop is almost a guaranteed run with Haben Siefken at third base.
Definitely could be the way that head coach Colin Martin wants to play things. Here in the top of the 10th, Danny Barbero will be the leadoff man for the Stallions. Haben Siefken is at second base. We're in extras here at Veterans Memorial Park. Stallions looking for some extra inning magic. Barbero tried to lay down the bunt. It's fouled straight back for strike 1.
He squared around really early before the pitcher even came set. I don't really know why you would do that, simply because everybody knows you're bunting. The defense can adjust and prepare for the bunt.
0-1 is laid down. It kind of seemed like right there Barbero was trying to defend himself, jutted out of it, but he gets it down. Haben Siefken goes over to third, and now a ball to the outfield will give the Stallions the lead. And Nick, is this storybook? Casey Comiskey doesn't have a hit yet on the season. A pivotal time here where if he gets one down, the Stallions will have a 1-run lead.
What a great time for your first hit of the summer, right? Give your team the lead, extra innings against a rival. No better time.
Haben Siefken is speedy. A ball past Sorice at home. You could see him come home to score. This one's fouled straight back. Comiskey in an 0-2 hole.
He's right on it, though. You're seeing 2 fastballs from the pitcher. Comiskey just barely fouled him back to the screen. He's clearly has his timing down.
A new pitcher on the bump for the Diamond Dogs here in the top of the 10th. We're waiting on confirmation is Aiden Colagrande. He misses way outside for ball 1. Stallions have the go-ahead run at third base. 1-2 count. Strike 3. Comiskey is left frozen.
Now batting for the Stallions, the first baseman, number 12, from Wofford College, Jack Painter.
Jack Painter is going to have to play the hero here for Saugerties. 2 down against Colagrande. He's the rising senior, the lefty, standing at 6'3", 205 out of Stony Brook. Sported a 4.7 ERA. Down on Long Island this past season. Gets ahead here with a first pitch strike. This one's popped up. Foul on the third base side. And now Mohawk Valley just 1 strike away from getting a chance to walk it off in the bottom of the 10th. Haben Siefken is at second. Painter at the dish. Does not have a hit tonight. That one misses down low at the dirt. And an important block there by Sorice.
Great block at that. Off speed in the dirt. You don't know where that pitch will end up. Great block by the Mohawk Valley backstop.
1-2 count. 2 outs. Top of the 10th here at Veterans Memorial Park. The pitch. Misses at the top of the zone. The Mohawk Valley dugout thought that they had strike 3, but Painter gets another chance. 2-2. 2 outs. Tied at 3 here in the top of the 10th. Painter just fights that one off over to third. Hurd throws to first. Not a clean throw, and the run will score. Hurd with the E5, and the Stallions have a 4-3 lead here in the 10th.
Painter did everything he could, broke his bat, just had to put a ball in play, and look how it worked out for him. Go ahead, RBI on the E5.
And what an at-bat there by Painter. He fights back from the 0-2, pushes the count to 2-2, and doesn't even try and do too much, just puts the ball in play, and it works out. Hobbin-Siefken scores as the extra runner. It's 4-3 Stallions here in the top of the 10th. Sam Blanco at the dish now, the catcher, trying to add some more. That one misses down low. It's 2-0. And that Mohawk Valley dugout that's been very loud for the latter half of these innings went completely silent after that throw.
Especially after the 1-2 fastball that seemed to have just missed. They all wanted that one.
This one's popped up on the infield. Stoney shades over. Who's it going to be? Ends up with Hawk. He makes the play, but not before the Stallions take a one-run lead off the error from Hurd. It's 4-3 as we head to the bottom of the 10th. Back here in Mohawk Valley, and Nick, things change very quickly. Things seem bleak for the Stallions. 0-2 count on Jack Painter. Outs in the top half of that 10th, but he just puts the ball in play. They get lucky with the error, and now have to string together 3 outs to get a gritty win here on the road.
Especially after the Kaminsky strikeout with 1 out, right? 2 outs, down to their last out. Find a way to put a run up on the board and give themselves a chance to come out of here with a victory.
Heath did put himself into some trouble in that 9th inning, but got out of it. The leadoff walk. The Diamond Dogs had the tying run, or the winning run, in that bottom half of the 9th at second base before Heath delivered a ground out over to third and a fly out to Rodriguez in center field. For the Diamond Dogs, it's going to be 6-7-8 here in the bottom half of the 10th, starting with Caden Hart, who's 0 for 4 tonight. Hart and Sorais were the two that were slated to be the batters here, but we'll see a pinch hitter here for Mohawk Valley as they will take out Hart and go with John Calabrese, the 5'10", 175 outfielder from Bucknell.
Another New York native, hometown, Staten Island, New York, went to high school at Poly Prep, alongside one of the Saugerties Stallions players, number 32, Charles Batista.
Working that righty-lefty matchup with Heath being the righty, they throw Calabrese in there to try and get something going. Runner over at second is Hawk. Lay down the bunt. Going to be a tough play here for Croce. Bare hand to first. Not in time. That was a challenging play for Croce, and heading over to second with nobody covering is Calabrese, and the Diamond Dogs are in business. Second and third with nobody out.
What a bunt. What speed to get down the line. Croce did everything he can, barehanded it smoothly, made a great throw, but speed just won that battle.
And then a lack of awareness once the play was actually over. Nobody covering second. And right there, Calabrese moves up 90 feet. Nico Soares, the catcher, will step in. He's 0 for 4 tonight. Infield is in for the Stallions. Nobody warming in the bullpen. This is Heath's mess to get out of. In there for strike one.
First base is open, so a walk would not be the worst thing. Set up the force play at home plate with nobody out.
And you can feel the tension rising here at Veterans Memorial Park. The Diamond Dogs nearly entire dugout on their feet. That one is fouled off of Blanco at home, and now an 0-2 count for Heath. This is a guy who hasn't seen this level of intensity at the college level really so far, but has been ranked as an All-American before, as a highly touted prospect, and has a chance to show that off right here in the bottom of the 10th. The pitch misses down low. A good waste pitch right there from Heath, not trying to give anything to hit right there to Soares. Runners are at second and third here in the bottom of the 10th. A run to tie, 2 runs to win for the Diamond Dogs. 1-2. Misses, and that one gets past. Coming home here to score is Hawk. There will be no throw. And now the winning run is just 90 feet away.
Heath had no control over that fastball way outside. Spiked it to the backstop. Now the game is tied.
So now the best case scenario for the Stallions, a tie. And this is a difficult situation here for the Stallions with the winning run at third and nobody out. Really need a strikeout here if you're Heath. This one's fouled off to the right side. And that's the problem with this ballpark, Nick. You can't let one get by you. It's going to come back and bite you.
Blanco had no chance to stop that one. Heath sailed the fastball by him. There was no chance to get his body in front.
2-2. Misses on the outside corner, and the count goes full. Stallions undefeated 2-0 this season, at risk of losing that here in Mohawk Valley. The payoff. That's a walk after an 0-2 count to Soares. He fights back. And now Ethan Hughes, the man who has 2 hits tonight, including a double in the 4th, comes to the plate looking to walk it off.
If you're Mohawk Valley, this is the right guy at the dish for them, no doubt about it. Your hottest hitter in the box with a chance to win the game. You couldn't ask for a better situation if you're the head coach for Mohawk Valley.
And the Diamond Dogs are going to talk things over. Here on the third baseline, Nick, this could be a situation, and this is kind of clunky for a suicide squeeze.
Both teams have played small ball tonight. There's been probably only 1 extra base hit that I can think of off the top of my head between these 2 teams. So a suicide squeeze would not be the most surprising thing if you're asking me.
It's been a thrilling game here at Veterans Memorial Park. Stallions and Diamond Dogs throwing punches at each other, but the Diamond Dogs looking to land the KO here in the bottom of the 10th. They have runners at the corners with nobody out in a 4-4 ball game in which the Stallions led 4-3 coming into the bottom half of this inning. Heath still on the bump. Hughes at the dish, looking to be the hero. Big cut and a miss right there for strike one.
There's that power fastball that he throws. Hughes had no chance to catch up to that one.
And going over to second without even looking was Soares. That one's fouled off. And Soares was halfway over to second base before Heath even got in his windup.
Saugerties brought the infield in. No one's there to cover second. Smart play by the catcher.
The 0-2. Fouled straight back. Hughes played with the Diamond Dogs last season, had a batting average of 198, is trying to come up big for his squad once again. Runners at the corners. 0-2 count. Heath deals. Misses at the top of the zone for ball 1. And going over to second on that is Saugerties. So now runners at second and third. Not that it matters anymore that Saugerties is at second, because obviously if Hart is to come home to score, then the game's over. One-two pitch. Hughes putting up a fight here in the bottom of the 10th.
Foul balls in 3 of the last 4 pitches, doing everything he can to bring home Hart from third.
Runners at second and third. 1-2 count. 4-4 ball game. Bottom of the 10th. Heath deals. And another foul ball right there from Hughes. That's going to be very entertaining when these two teams meet up once again in just a couple weeks' time. This is going to be a battle that's going to go back and forth all season long. Heath deals. And Hughes just barely makes contact once again to stay alive. But in a way, Nick, probably a good thing he made contact there. Drop third strike. And guess who's coming home to score? That's Calabrese.
The winning run. And Saugerties goes home on the bus. Definitely upset.
Heath can't locate it. Counting on it at 2s. The pitch. I mean, talk about resiliency. That's Ethan Hughes is the definition of it right now.
5 foul balls in this at-bat alone. Heath is going to have to earn this out.
And Heath is really going to have to earn the 3 outs if there's any chance of that with second and third. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 10th. The pitch. After a long battle, Heath wins it. He gets the K. There's 1 down here in the bottom of the 10th.
Now coming to bat for your Dogs, the second baseman, number 7 from Lincoln University.
That was a battle, Nick.
At least 9 pitches in that bat alone. Heath really had to earn that strikeout.
Sean Stoney the next up now for the Diamond Dogs. 1 dead here in the bottom half of the 10th. Big cut and a miss for strike 1.
Back-to-back ABs. Now Stoney is way behind Heath's fastball.
Stoney 1 for 4 tonight, had a single in the 6th. Trying to be the hero for the Diamond Dogs here in the bottom of the 10th. This one's flared out to right field, probably too shallow to make a play. Haben Seifkin grabs it. The throw is in time, and a nice block there by Blanco to not let it go behind. And now the Stallions are just 1 out away from walking out of here with a tie.
That's probably where bringing the infield in, and outfield for that matter, actually helped you. The infield was all the way on the grass, and Haben Seifkin was pretty much where the second baseman would normally be playing. So I'm curious to see if the infield was not in. I wonder if that's a bloop hit.
Calabrese comes up for his 6th at-bat of the evening, and he still doesn't have a hit. He's 0 for 4 with a walk. Stallions are 1 out away from getting out of Mohawk Valley with a tie. Fouled back, and Nick, at this point, if they are to do it, this would feel like a win given the magnitude of the dire situation they were in here in the bottom of the 10th with second and third and nobody out.
This is pressure baseball at its finest. Like you said, the game is on the line, and if Heath can hold them to just 1 run, walk out of here at a tie, I couldn't agree more.
Up quickly 0-2, and the Stallions are 1 strike away from walking out of here with a tie. 0-2 count. Tied 4-4. Runners are at second and third here in the bottom of the 10th. Heath comes set. Now deals. That one misses, and a nice job by Blanco to keep things in front of him. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Bottom of the 10th. Diamond Dogs have the winning run 90 feet away. This one's put over up the middle, and it's a walk-off single. Calabrese notches his first hit of the night, and the Diamond Dogs come out with a 5-4 win here at Veterans Memorial Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, your player of the game, shortstop number 13.
And Nick, that couldn't have been more deflating to go from second and third, nobody out, to get the 2 outs, be 1 strike away, and then allow that hit up the middle. This one's going to hurt.
Heath did everything he could except make 1 pitch at the end. He really found a way to battle back, get those 2 outs like you said. Did everything right in that inning except the 1 pitch that Calabrese lined up the middle.
Stallions fall here in Mohawk Valley, 5-4, the final in 10 innings. Saugerties drops to 2-1. Mohawk Valley gets back to 500. They're at 2-2. Stallions will be action tomorrow night at home against Glens Falls. The Stallions took down the Dragons 12-2 up there at East Field on opening night. Saugerties will look for a bounce back tomorrow after a bad loss here tonight in Mohawk Valley. For our entire crew, our producer Bella Holleran, our sideline reporter Hannah Tampassis, and my partner Nick Zuppi, we thank you for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow night. Stallions fall 5-4, the final.